Hey, what's going on? My name is Emmanuel Capitas. I'm the co-founder and creator of a platform called Launchware, and today I want to just show you the exact process. I'm literally going to draw everything out, then we're going to go into the actual platform and build it. But I want to show you how you can build a six-figure coaching business or consulting business. But I'm going to literally map out the entire flow for you to go from an idea. So an idea leads to what? An offer. After you create an offer, what are we going to do? Well, let's create something that can deliver on that, which is called the delivery mechanism. So what is it? Is it a course? You don't have to go film all the videos. I'm just going to show you exactly how to structure everything so you can go from idea, know that you can deliver on that idea, to then creating a way to launch that idea into the market. That can be a combination of, you want to do, for example, like a webinar. You want to launch it via an online event. You want to launch it via a community. You want to launch it via just one-on-one conversations, and you give them a path forward with a link. Whatever the launch vehicle is, I'm going to literally just show you the three core ones that I would do to build a $100,000+ coaching business or consulting business, and then let's actually create let's know that we can deliver on the thing that we said we were going to create. So that's where we're going to fulfill on the business. And the cool part about fulfilling on the business, this is where you get to, let's say, the next level of your business and the next level, and eventually you get to your first $1 million in your business. But you have to start somewhere. So I'm going to show you how to get to the first 100,000 and then continue to grow from there. So the way this is going to work, like you're seeing right now, I'm going to whiteboard, or I guess blackboard, on here. So I'm going to draw the flow of what we're going to create, like how to do the thing. And then I'm going to jump into right here. I'm going to jump into the platform that will actually build that. Okay, so you don't have to use this platform. You can use whatever you want. This is going to be the easy way to do it, the shortcut way to do it. But if you want to go build it from scratch elsewhere, no problem. Here just to serve. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk to you about at this point, if you don't know what a coaching business is, let me make this bigger. If you don't know what a coaching business is, or you don't know what a consulting business is, then this video is probably not for you. But if you know, like, yeah, I'm a coach, or yes, I'm a consultant, a service provider, I run an agency. If that's y'all, then go ahead and pay attention. But yeah, if you don't know what either of these are, I mean, feel free to watch, but I'm specifically speaking to these two people. And so let's go ahead and jump into it, all right? So let's dive into creating an offer. So, like, first and foremost, let me move this out of the way, and I'll put this in bigger. Let me do this actually. No, like this. Cool. All right, this way you can see better. So what is an offer? So this is all you have to know about an offer. An offer is something that takes someone, for coaches and consultants, you could have other types of offers that just pure entertainment, but an offer is something that takes someone from, and I'll put it in red, maybe they're in pain, they're being challenged, maybe no money. You have to understand who your client is and what their pain points are. Like, what are they struggling with? And then, what do they want? Like, what's the dream? Like, for this person, the dream of, if they have no money, they likely want to have money, and maybe lots of it. Okay? What about this person? They're in pain. Maybe it's they're in a toxic relationship, and their dream is best relationship. So in this case, all your offer has to do is it needs to move the person from here, and it needs to take them towards the dream. And once again, this is for coaches and consultants. And one thing that I always look at if I'm identifying, and I learned this from Russell Brunson. I give credit where credit's due. Um, the founder of ClickFunnels. Essentially, people want three things, especially in this industry: health, wealth, and relationships. Okay? Well, they want to be successful. So, people want success in, and then it's these three, right? They want to, and often this is overlooked, but for the most part, people want to be healthy. They want to be able to walk around and, do the things that consider good health. People generally want some form of wealth. And it's not so much about, oh, they're chasing money for the sake of money, but they want to have money that equals freedom. So wealth for the sake of just full freedom and not having to work for anyone else and live life on their own terms. That's kind of the general consensus. Not everyone, but most people. And then the other one is relationships. And the relationships, they can be like romantic, they can be friendships, family, they can be professional relationships, and a plethora of different relationships. But people generally want to, be successful in their relationships, with their good relationship with their family, good relationship with their partners if they have a partner, good relationships with their coworkers or their employees. They want to just generally just be good in these things. So one thing that helps with offers, if you're ever struggling, is think about these three core areas: health, wealth, and relationships. And where do you serve and support? And I guess real quick, just as a expansion of this, for health, I'll put it here. For health, of course, there's, people generally want to have good mental health. And then people generally want good physical health. So if you're a coach or a consultant, then these are all your areas to look at. You have, once again, health, and that includes mental health or physical health. Maybe you're a fitness coach. Okay, cool. You're here. This is where you start. But when someone feels better physically, well, doesn't it usually spill over into the mental health side of things? Now they're not shaming themselves or things like that. They feel better. And what happens after this happens? Well, with physical and the mental put together, I'll put this in green, with these two put together, well, maybe that means that they're showing up. Maybe that means actually this: they're showing up better at work. And because they're showing up better at work, that then leads to them getting a raise. Them feeling better because, and once again, this is just for a fitness coach, but because a fitness coach helps the person feel better physically, spills over into into their mental health, spills over into their relationships with people at work or their clients or whatever it is, that leads to them making more money. Also, as a byproduct of even just the physical health, we have, well, now that you're feeling better mentally and physically, well, maybe that means you're calling in and attracting the partner. Maybe that means you're attracting more the right types of friends that you want to be around your life. Maybe that means you're inspiring your family members so they go and they transform. And once again, this is literally just from a fitness coach. So if you think about your offers in this way, you stop guessing and kind of just a lukewarm thing, but you understand, where does my offer support them and how does it spill over to the others? So I invite you to, you can pause this video and think about that. I'm going to continue on with the offer, but these are three core things that most of you as coaches or consultants, you will fall into that bucket. And don't try to say, I do all of them at once, but like, what's the core thing that if you really solve that, it spills over the others? Okay, beautiful. So when it comes to the offer, right? So I'll go going blue. So, actually, I'll go here. So we have this dream, right? I think if you know who Alex Hormozy is, then obviously you know the magic that man is bringing into the world. But if you don't know who he is, highly encourage you to go check him out. He runs the $100 million series. It's a book series, and he just broke from one launch, from one single webinar. One webinar made him $105 million. The biggest launch ever. Anyways, so he has a book series. So it's $100 million offers, $100 million leads, and $100 million money models. This is the one that did 105 million. Anyways, this book right here, so I'll map them, boom, boom, and boom. So this book right here is the one that shifted a lot for me, and I just want to only specify on one formula. You can go read the book. Highly, highly recommend you check that book out. But this was the value equation, and it's the simplest I've ever seen it. For some of you, if you hate math, this is the time to actually pay attention, because you not understanding this is what keeps you stuck. So the value equation is very, very simple. It's dream outcome, and I'll explain what it is, times perceived likelihood of achievement over, I'll move this over here. Okay, put this over here, and this is time delay times effort and sacrifice. Okay, so when you have that, that equals value, real value. And here's the easiest part, and this is why, I bring this up too. It's like your offer is literally just the vehicle that gets someone from here to here. That's it. It's not about you. It's literally just about them and getting them to the dream, or closer to the dream. And here's how it makes sense. And I really want you to just pay attention to this and find a way to do this. But all you have to do is, when you're looking at an offer, and we're going to walk through this, but remember this: the top two you want to increase, and the bottom two you want to decrease. So what does this mean? Put this with green. Okay. So your offer must increase the chance that the person will actually achieve the dream. Like, we want to get the person from here, and this is the dream. We want to take them from here to here. Get little heads. And when you have something that actually does that, when you have an offer that helps someone go from here to here, from here to here, then that is truly value. Not what you think is valuable, but it's truly valuable to who? To them. Not you. Doesn't matter. You don't matter here. You're just the vehicle that gets them there. So you matter in that aspect, not in what you think is valuable. And the market will tell you. So then the next thing you want to increase is the perceived likelihood of achievement that the dream outcome is actually possible for them. So this is where, maybe you have lived experience. Maybe you've done it. Maybe you're certified in the things. You have case studies or stories about other people that have, And when you share those things about your offer, other people, I've done it, I've done the thing, I'm certified for it, I've helped other people do the thing, and the thing is the dream outcome. Well, when you do that, the person starts believing that it's actually possible for them to achieve the thing. And once again, you just need to think about, I need to increase, okay? And now let's look at the bottom. And once again, if you help someone believe that it's possible to achieve the dream outcome through your lived experience, your certifications, through your case studies or case stories, well, that adds a ton of value to your offer. Okay? And to who? Not to you, to them. Oh, wow. You've done it too? You can help me move towards the dream outcome? Amazing. The thing that I want? Amazing. I'm in. Okay, and now the next part of the equation, and we're going to actually build this too. Like I said, we have, so you don't have to use this, but I'm just going to show you on the platform. Then the next thing we're going to do to ensure that our offer is valuable to them, once again, is we want to decrease the time for them to get to the dream outcome. So if you go at it alone, solo, maybe for you to get to the dream takes you 10 years. Because you don't know, and by you, I'm talking about them, the client. So we're talking to the client. Maybe if you try to figure it out yourself, it's going to take you a decade. But if you come into my course, come into my program, come into my working with me, so work with me, and by me I mean you at this point, then the person getting to the dream, let's say we can get them in a year. Well, in this case, we are compressing time frames to get them to the dream. So, does your offer help the person get to the dream faster? Ideally, you want it to be a resounding yes. Doing it alone might take you this long, and you'll most likely quit along the way, and you might just take the dream to the grave. Come into my world, you're going to have accountability, we're going to give you systems, we're going to give you coaching, we're going to give you the tools to actually do the thing, like whatever your offer is. So, once again, we want to make sure that we reduce the time to get to the dream. Okay, now, what about effort and sacrifice? Well, if you come into our world, like even just this example, right? So let me do it in this. From 10 years to 1 year. How much less effort and sacrifice would that be? 9 years worth of effort and sacrifice, 9 years of blood, sweat, and tears. But if you come into our world, can't guarantee it, but I've seen other people do it in the first 12 months of being in our space. And this is something that if you try to figure it out alone, will likely take years. And most of the time people, they hit some roadblocks and they literally just give up and they take those dreams to the grave. See how I'm just talking, flowing, and all I'm thinking about is just these equations. So when you come into my world, you're going to be able to finally get those ideas out of your head and build the business that you know you've been destined to create, that you want to make that impact in the world, you want to have the freedom, you want to be able to travel, and you are so capable of doing that if you just allow yourself to get those ideas out of your head and put them into a platform that does it for you so you can stay in zone of genius and serve your clients. And let me go back here. And to do that, I'm going to show you exactly, and then I'd go into what an offer includes. So I'm going to go deeper into this momentarily, but you're going to see how the offer around this, and let me go back to this view 1 second. Boom. Cool. You're going to see how the offer, which we're going to call it a value stack. So I'm going to write it here. So yeah, at this point, we're still an offer, right? And we know that an offer for a coach or consultant should impact either health, wealth, or relationships, and they can have spillovers, but what's the centralized core thing that it does? And an offer should move someone, help support in moving someone from pain towards the dream outcome. And speaking of, of dream outcomes, Hermosi's value equation, this is the thing that if you understand this and you incorporate this into your offer, that's where you have an irresistible offer that is truly valuable to who? To them. Them are your clients. Beautiful. So now let's go into, and hopefully this is valuable to you all. I mean, I guess if you're watching at this point, then obviously it is. Now let's go into, this is called a value stack. So a value stack, and you see it in like coaches offers. You see it in software quite often, but it's basically like, when you join tier 1, tier 2, and you usually see basically like you get this thing and a little write-up on it. Then you get this other thing. This right here is like what I'm just kind of highlighting. This is called a value stack. And then other times, and this would be like a value stack for just a single offer. Let's say you had a course, and so this would be, I'll put it in, so I'll do this. So this would be course name, would be this, and then what you get. And this could be something like you get, a 6-module course, you get a community, and you get a monthly live group call. Okay, so that's the idea. That's essentially a value stack, and anything that you get, you need to look at this equation again and ask yourself: does it increase the chance that they move towards the dream outcome? The answer must be a yes. If it's not, replace that thing. If this is not, like if this doesn't move the person towards the dream outcome, swap it out with something. Swap with a yes. What's something that does actually move them towards the dream outcome? The reason why you want to do this is because, once again, it's not about you, it's about them and getting them towards the dream. And when you make it all about them, your offers will become more valuable, which will result in more sales. And this will be the path to getting to 100K and beyond. So I'll detail more of an offer momentarily, but I want to show you all something that changed a lot for me. And it's once again from Hermosi. And it's around tiered offers. So this right here, so you have this option, but then let's say that there's some other options that people can buy, something that costs a little bit more. So for example, so tier 2 gets everything tier 1 includes. But then let's say that tier 2 gets a couple additional things like this, boom. And then let's say that tier 3 gets the most resources. So, and then you can see here, and actually do it like this. That tier 1 doesn't get this. It doesn't get this. And it doesn't get this. Well, this is a multi-tiered offer, and the psychology behind this shifted so much for me. Once I understand, what he taught about this is called the popcorn analogy. And basically you have a small popcorn, you have a medium popcorn, then you have a large popcorn, all right? All you have to think about is whatever this, the middle one, so let me do 10 and 5. Okay, whatever the middle one is closer to, you'll sell more of that thing. So for example, I'll delete this. Let's say we had a $5 small popcorn. We had a $6.50 medium popcorn and a $10 large popcorn. Well, in this case, it's only $1.50 more to buy a medium popcorn. Well, guess what's going to happen? More people are going to buy this. It's only $1.50 more. Boom. Now, what happens if the medium, let's move it over here, and then let's make that $8.50. Okay, well, once again, only for a little bit more I can get a large. Well, in this case, more people buy a large. So when I learned this, my average order value, so average order value, AOV, my average order value was $497 so basically per order. And then I introduced this, and then my AOV, average order value, went to, I'll put it in green so it stands out, went to about $1,700 per order. It was the same offer, but I just added some additional stuff, and then the middle one, I put it closer to a large, and that large was $2,000, and all of a sudden, I got a so this is essentially, this is like a 3.4x jump, 3.4x from here to here, just by adding a multi-tiered offer and following the popcorn analogy. And the beauty of it is it allows you to meet people where they're at. If someone's only at the $5 level or at the $500 level, then meet them where they're at. But there are some people that are at the position to give you $2,000, to give you $10,000, to give you, not give, but pay you $20,000 and beyond. There are those people out there. And the beauty about multi-tiered offers is that it allows you to meet those people where they're at. And it doesn't have to be 3-tier. You could do a 2-tier. Like, for example, in Hermosi's, where's he at? In this right here, and this one's pretty wild, but it was basically tier 1 was $29.99, and tier 2 was $5,996.99. So it was $6,000. This was a 200x jump from here, 200x jump. But they are the people that can pay him $6,000, and there was even higher ticket offers on the back end. It went to an $18,000 offer. But then there's a lot of people that are only in position to only pay $29. So he meets them where they're at. And in this case, the psychology behind it, if it's a 2-tiered offer, you can either do an astronomical jump and look for the people, or you could do a smaller jump and take only for a little bit more. If these were the 2 tiers, let's say this was $1,500 and this was $2,000, well, only for $500 more, I would just stack a bunch of more stuff inside of this $2,000 offer. So you get to play with that. You can talk to chat about it, but you get to figure out, like, what is my offer include. So I'm gonna, I guess, real quick, what I'll do so we can jump into actually building this out. Let's pretend we are doing a course for a coach. So this course is actually, we're going to do a group coaching program. So we're going to do a group program. And by group program, because some people ask, what's the difference between course and group program? So yeah. So there's course. I guess I'll talk about a couple different types of offers. Course, group program, private coaching, or this could be like consulting, or like a private agency client. Okay, so This one's pretty clear because obviously it's just at a one-on-one level. But course and group program are essentially, this one is usually on demand, which means pre-recorded. And this one is live. It's live with weekly or bi-weekly calls. Typically, it's recommended to do weekly on these, just for the sake of momentum. And this one's usually cohort based, where this one is evergreen. So it doesn't matter if the person joins in January, it doesn't matter if the person joins in August or December. They can join at any time and plug into an on-demand course that they can watch at their own pace. Whereas this is date-based. Let's say this is a year, so January and December. Well, let's say you have a 3-month. Typically, it's like a 12-week group program, also sometimes called mastermind. But let's say you have a 12-week group program and you want to run it twice a year. So you could run it January, so basically January to March. So let's say like this, boom. Jan to March. And then you run it again in the going into summer. So let's say June to September. Cool. Well, once again, the year for a course, it doesn't matter, right? So people can join at any time. There's no cohorts. Typically, this you charge more than a course. So let's say a course is $500, which you basically just do $497, $495, etc. You shouldn't really put things at full numbers. It's just psychology. For some reason, people see this and they think it's smaller than 500, and obviously it is, but there's just some weird psychology behind it. Then a group program, let's say you started at $1,500, so $1,497 to even like $10,000. I mean, we sell one program for $40,000, so you could decide on the value that you bring, and if you feel that you can charge $10,000 for a 12-week program or $40,000, whatever your number is, then amazing. If not, it's where you challenge yourself a bit. You stretch yourself, but you know that you can deliver that much value for the person. And then private coaching, that one, or consulting, or if you have private agency clients, it's just at a one-on-one instance between you and that client. And usually it takes more time, or it's obviously, since it's less scalable, right? Because you only have, let's say it's a 1-hour session with the client compared to a 1-hour session where you have multiple people and none of them are expecting one session with you. In this 1 hour, you did a lot more because you got through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. It would have taken you 7 hours here, but you did it in 1 hour because you ran it inside of a group program. Hopefully that's clear. But because for the one-on-one, this is where you charge more. So obviously at the beginning, for some coaches, it can be like I hear often like $1,500 for 3 months. But then of course you can charge at much higher levels. I mean, there's people that charge, and once you get to like 20, 30, 40K, like the psychology part is kind of irrelevant at that point, because if someone's spending $50,000, they don't care about that. They know that you're worth that. So yeah, the psychology part of a 7, a 5 ending at the end of your thing goes out the door once you start charging like 20 plus $1,000. Um, but yeah, so of course you get to figure out like what you do here. Like for me, for example, I'm not a coach, but I do run an agency, and typically it's about 42,000 a year per client to be able to do the things. Um, and of course, I know that I can bring 10 plus times that value, so I'm confident standing behind that. So you get to sit with like what value do I bring? Who is it for? How do I move them from where they are to where they ultimately want to be? And yeah, so what I want to work on is a group program. So we're going to create this, but for a group program. So let's go down here and group program. We're going to call it Launch Academy. And it's going to be a duration is going to be 12 weeks. Actually, I'm going to make duration 4 weeks because it doesn't take 12 weeks to launch something. So 4 weeks, they're going to come in and I'm going to take them through. So here we're going to say 4 weekly live sessions. Okay. What else are they going to get? They're going to get access to, I'm going to give them 4 workbooks. I'm actually going to call them playbooks. And my invitation, playbooks, my invitation real quick, if you're watching this right now and I'm doing this, I invite you to just follow along, pause the video if you need to, and start kind of writing out. And if you have questions, like for example, we could go here and ask ChatGPT. So I know it's kind of small, let me make it just a little bit bigger. And say, I'm working on an offer for a 4-week group coaching program where I help coaches take their ideas out of their heads and launch their dream offer into the world. Can you help me create a value stack around this? And pro tip, I typically will upload different resources. So I'm going to upload just a book that I know will give my GPT that much more knowledge. Okay, one sec. Alrighty, cool. Note, I'm feeding you $100 million offers to help with the value stack. Okay, so like for some of you, you don't know how to do this part. Amazing. Literally just open up ChatGPT. You don't need to have that book. If you do want to have that book, go buy it. Go to Amazon. You can find $100 million offers. You can find videos on it, and do whatever you got to do to feed it to chat. But here, for example, okay, 4-week group coaching program, launch your dream offer, value stack. So we have the 4 weeks, cool. So we have that already on the iPad. Templates, offer builder templates, cool. I call them recipes, so amazing. I dig that. What else do they get? Swipe files, love that. It's a great idea. And once again, if I'm looking at these things, then think about this. So it's telling us, we have swipe files. Come back to this equation here, and do these swipe files help the person move towards the dream? Yes. Do these swipe files, if I give them a bunch of files that have worked for me and other coaches, Will these increase the belief that it's possible for them to achieve the dream outcome? Yes. Beautiful. Will these swipe files reduce the time that they're going to have to commit to move towards the dream outcome? Yes. Do these swipe files reduce the effort and sacrifice? Because otherwise they're going to have to go write their own things. Yes. Okay, amazing. I keep it. You see how if you just have that checks and balances, you kind of stop guessing and you actually have something of real value to them, the clients. So let's go back here. Yeah, we'll go here. Cool. So in this case, let's see what else we have. One-on-one launch audit, amazing. That is huge value. Community and accountability pod. Yep, that is for sure valuable. So it's a bonus. So this is where, go back to the iPad. So we have an offer, right? But then like what happens if, for example, I just want to show you all something. So this is a certain price, right? So this is the lowest, this is the next, and this is the highest if we have a multi-tiered offer. And I always create multi-tiered offers just because they allow me to meet people where they're at. And they did this, right? It was the 3.4x jump on an average order. So if that's the case, and I want to sell things, like what are some other things that can help me sell even more? Well, this is where bonuses come in. So like, because someone showed up, because you watched this video, because you showed up to the webinar, because you are on this one-on-one call, and you know we're connecting and you're being vulnerable. I want to acknowledge you for doing that. And because you showed up today, I want to give you a special invitation to work with me. And I'm not pitching it right now. I'm showing you how to position it. Typically, and this is called the special offer. So a special offer is, so there's some bonuses that you can include. I'll come back to the bonuses, but a special offer is this. Typically, to join our program, you can start with the smallest. And then I'll show you the reverse of starting with the highest. But typically to join our program, it's $19.97. But because you're here today, you can get access for only $497, saving you 75%. I know it sounds crazy. And it's only available on this call or for the next 24 hours or whatever duration you want, right? But when you do that, what we just did, typically it's this, is your price anchor. We just price anchor that the program is typically $2,000, but because they're here today, they can get it for $497, which is 75% off, and it's only available on this call or for the next 24 hours, 2 days. 24 hours and 2 days, so 48 hours, work really well. It just depends on what you want to do. But you see how now all of a sudden we're playing with different fundamental principles that will just support you in selling more people. Oh wow, typically I got to pay $2,000, but because I'm here it's only $500. I'm in, take my money. Where do I pay? So that allows you to position in a way where it's not, here's the alternative, right? Let's say you're selling a $500 course. Because like at the end of the day, what I have seen a lot with normal consulting services and coaching services is the special offer is the thing that makes the most. Like this is kind of, you'll take it, like amazing if some, like a random person, I'll put random. If a random person's like, hey, I just checked this out, I'm in for $2K, amazing, we'll take it. But for the most part, like this offer lives on your website. But your special offer lives within a launch or a call. You're on a sales call and you have this ammunition Hey, you can go to our website and join. It's $2,000, but because you're on this call today, it's only $497, which will save you 75% off. Um, we're only running it for the month of September, and it's only available while we're on this call right now. Once we hang up, no worries, no pressure or anything like that. But the special offer will be gone. So you get to figure out your way of authentically saying it. But this supports you in keeping the ball in your side of the court. I'm not a big sports person, but this is your side, and this is prospect. And all it is basically like sales. It's transformation, but it's kind of a clash of um, of power. And power might be the wrong word, but if you say, hey, it's $500 to join, well, you're giving them all the power. Yes, you might have created opportunities for transformation and whatnot, but you're just putting the ball in their side of the court. It's $497 to work with me. Sweet. Okay, I'll talk to you 6 months from now. And great if you get them 6 months from now, but that's very different compared to typically it's this much to work with me, but because you showed up today, it's this much, saving you this much, and it's only available for this finite period of time. That keeps the ball on your side of the court, and the person now has to act with some type of there's urgency. And for some of you, oh, I don't like those tactics. Cool, don't use them, but you're leaving so much money on the table. And if you know that you can have real transformation on someone else's life, if they work with you, then you should do everything in your power to get them to work with you, to get them to pay. Like, obviously don't like point a gun to them or like pressure them in a way that isn't authentic to you, but like, can you hold them high? Can you say, like, you've been talking about this thing and this pain and you want to get to here, but you know from what I'm seeing, it's you're staying in the mindset of scarcity, of not enough. And if you don't do something you've never done, you're not going to have something you've never had. So if you come into my world, we can move you towards actually achieving that thing. I've done it multiple times with all these other people, and instead of spending the next decade trying to figure it out by yourself, you can come into our world and figure it out in literally 3 months. And just by being inside of our community, you're going to be able to avoid the pitfalls, because other people have done it too, so that you can ultimately build that business, live that life of freedom. You see how I literally, guys, I just flowed, and all I was doing was just basically talking about that formula. So hopefully this is valuable to y'all. If you are watching, of course, then it most likely is. But let's go back to here, and let's actually build this offer out. So this is the part where I just want to show y'all, like, let's build the thing out. Yeah, because I already talked about the different price points. So I just want to show y'all in here, and you can go do this anywhere. If you have other platforms where you build offers, amazing. This is just a platform that built it for you by you just essentially taking a quiz and answering some questions. Okay, so I'm inside of offers. I'm gonna add a new offer. I'm gonna create this Launch Academy that I was talking about. Okay, cool. So offer name, I'm gonna call it Launch Academy Elite. I'm gonna say it's a program. I'm gonna say it's a 3-tiered offer. So I'm gonna go here. Okay, let's make it a 3-tiered offer. Please give me the name for each tier, 1 to 2 words tops. And okay, let's start with that. So we just move bit by bit. Okay, so we have the foundation tier, the launchpad tier, and the momentum. For the sake of this example, I'm going to move on, but I would challenge that and come up with a better name. Starter, Pro, Master. I'll do that instead. Cool. And you could do like silver, gold, platinum. But once again, don't get lost in it. Just give it a name, move on, and talk to AI if you want to brainstorm. I'm going to skip the imagery. This is basically like if you want to add like some type of visual to the offer, but not necessary. Then I'm going to go yes for standalone checkout page. So here's where this is pretty cool, and I'll go back to the iPad real quick to talk about that. But so let's say we have. So let's say this is our sales page. So we have a headline here, a little write-up, I'm actually going to do this because we have a multi-tiered offer. So here's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. You get these things here, you get these things here, and you get additional things on this other one. Okay? And then there's a button. Oops. This is this much, this is this much, and this is this much, and then there's a button, right? Okay, so here's where it gets cool having special offers. So this, let's say, we're going to say 1 day available. And what happens after 1 day? Well, when someone opens this, opens special offer, here's something that we do automatically. But whenever someone opens, we lock on to, or our platform automatically will lock on to the person's cookies. And in this case, what will happen is that this countdown is real. So they can refresh the page all they want, but now that it's locked onto them, this is gonna start counting down. So if it's 1 day, if they open it and then they refresh, it's gonna be a continuous countdown from the moment that they opened it. The beauty of that is once that goes away, once the clock hits 0, it automatically redirects and you can figure that, like, this requires custom code on normal pages, but you can, once again, you don't have to use our stuff. But this is special pricing and maybe even exclusive bonuses. And this is full price, no bonuses. So what happened? Well, because if they don't take action, we're keeping the ball on your side of the court, then they have to pay full price and you can take some of the things away. Well, this kept the ball in your side of the court, and what happens is if someone misses the offer, usually what they're going to do, if they're like serious, they're going to say, they're going to reach out to you and say, hey, is there any way that you could give me this offer, please? Well, once again, ball's in your side of the court. If you have someone coming to you and saying like, hey, I would love to, like, I missed the thing, this came up, is there any way you can honor that? Well, that gives you an opportunity to say, hey, let's hop on a call. And now you can do a sales call and you get to decide, if you want to honor that. But this means actually just landing more clients. So once again, we're keeping the ball in your side of the court. Boom. So if I go back here, this is the beginning of. So now it's asking us, so time zone, I'm going to pick my time zone. Time delay. So this is between time delay or date based. If I say date based, let's say by the end of September, this offer that we're going to create for Launch Academy goes away. But I'm going to do time delay because I prefer to have evergreen offers. If I'm going to call with someone, then I can just give them this link, and now ball's in my side of the court instead of someone seeing, oh, it's till the end of the month. Other use cases for like a date specific deadline would be if you're doing a webinar or something like that. But I'll show you how Launchware automatically handles that elsewhere. But yeah, you can run a date-based special with ease, and of course do it elsewhere if you want. So I'm gonna do time delay, and I'm gonna say 1 day. So if I'm on a call with someone, make them an offer, once they click that, it's gonna be available for 1 day. Primary brand color, I'm going to just grab from my agency. So 1 second. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to grab my brand color. Okay, what's happening? Is this working? Cool. Pick color. Beautiful. Yeah, what I'm grabbing is a hex color. So go here. Hex color is a 6-digit code for a color. So if you tell someone, I want blue, well, there's a lot of different codes of blue. So you got to be specific. Find the color, and you can literally say, hey, chat, I love this color. What's the hex code of it? Hex code. And it'll tell you exactly. Or you can find on Google a hex code generator with different colors. So anyways, and what you saw is a Google Chrome extension called Color Pick Eyedropper. Yeah, you can find that on Google. It's free. You got to use Chrome. Then I'm just going to tell it some fonts. So I like Oswald and Leto. Do I have a logo? So either logo or no logo. Some of you don't have a logo. You can literally ask chat, hey, can you give me a horizontal logo for my coaching business? Make it PNG with no background. And cool, it can play around and you can just iterate there. So I would say there's no reason not to have a logo nowadays because you can get it created. But anyways, so this is going to go on the actual sales page. So I'm going to grab my logo. So boom. Logo. Okay. And I'm going to grab, yeah, I have two different, like this goes if it's on a light background, and this would be if it's on a dark background. I'm going to grab the light one because I'm going to put this on a dark background. Favicon. Favicon is just a little icon you see on internet tabs. So usually, like if you have a logo like this, then that would be the favicon. But if you don't have one, just put the same logo. And once again, if you're not using Launchware, that's cool. You can skip ahead. But I'm just showing y'all how it works. So yep, we got that. Then I'm going to ask. So this is a headline because this is going to be a multi-tiered offer. I can go edit this later, but I'm going to have a headline that would work on both pages. So I'm just going to go back to chat and just say, what's a headline that would work for both a special offer and a full price? Just one headline, please. Okay. Turn your idea into a ready-to-sell offer in just 4 weeks. Amazing. I could iterate more. I like that. That works. And every tier will include that. Okay. So you don't have to have backgrounds on your funnels. I like to add backgrounds just to make them a little bit more engaging. So I'm going to go downloads, background. Cool. Okay. And then background opacity is just like the, like this is a black overlay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this at 66%. So it's a black overlay on top of my background image on my page. Okay, cool. And then headshot. So I want people to know who I am. Whenever I make them the offer, they can at least re-see my face again. So boom, grab a headshot. So if you don't have a bio, just ask chat or whatever AI you use. Boom, manual here. Okay. Beautiful. All right. And then this is asking you what happens after someone buys your offer. So I'm going to come back to this, but this is our system. So when someone buys, so let me go back to the iPad real quick. So when someone buys any of these, right? So when they buy that, they actually pay you Well, you need to send them an email, and you need to also send them to a page that has their next steps. Hey, like, do these couple things. So they pay you, you want to make sure that they get a next step email, and then you want to make sure they get sent to a page that then takes them to wherever the delivery is. Delivery mechanism. So back in here, that's all this is asking for. And once again, if you're not using Launchware, all good. You just need to make sure that you have something that can collect emails upon a transaction happening and send an email to the person that just paid you, just so you come out legit. So in this case, our platform automatically will write the email, and then if you can hit view sample as I just showed, and this shows just the portion that you would need to give us, and in this case is the actual next steps. So in this case, create your account. Typically, if you're sending someone to a course, or in this case a group program, well, I want them to go create an account. So our platform builds the portal. You, once again, go do it wherever you want. And then besides, usually whenever you have a portal, there's a login, a sign up URL, and then there's a login URL. So I'm telling them, hey, the next thing you want to do is make sure you save this link. So you can log back in and access the materials and the calls, etc. And in this case, we're including a community. So this is usually like a good initial tier offering. And yeah, and then what would happen typically, and we're going to come back to this later, but for the sake of the example, this is good, but I could add an additional step here. So step 4 is, let's say someone buys the thing and they get access to Launchware. So this platform that we're building these things, well, let's say they get access to Launchware. So then I could add an additional step. I could be like, boom. Step 4. And let's say I was giving 90 days access to Launchware. Beautiful. So then I'd have a write-up here. Give me short write-up. Okay, watch. So also, some people are like, oh, I don't know what to say. Amazing. Once again, there's AI that we can use. And can you give me a write-up for stat 4, please? This is only going to be for tier 2 and 3 people, which we'll dive into value stack shortly. Just need write-up now. I talk to AI like it's a person, and it'll support you a tremendous amount. Okay, cool. So step 4, I'm going to say shorter write-up, please. 1/3 length. It should know. Cool. Beautiful. All right. So I'm going to do this. Go here. Amazing. So then for the highest tier offer, obviously they're going to get that. But then let's say tier 3 gets 2 private strategy sessions with me. Can you give me a step 5 plus write-up, please? Amazing. So when someone pays the full amount, let me delete this because this is tier 2. Okay, so I'll do this. Boom. And now we have a tier 3. So as you can see, just look at what's happening. So, and I put this one in the wrong spot. So, cool. So tier 1, there's only these 3 things. Tier 2, you're getting 90 days access to the platform. And tier 3, you're getting that plus 2 one-on-one sessions. And of course, in this case, you want to make sure that you actually hyperlink these to the respective things. So that's why we're going to come back, because we can build that delivery mechanism here in a bit. But we at least know what we're selling. So beautiful. Okay. And then how do you close out your emails? To your success. Beautiful. Now we're going to work on the actual value stack. So this is the part that I sketched out earlier. If I go back here, this part right here. So like you get these things included. Um, and I'm going to show you how we do that for special and full price as well. But let's go back here and let's create the value stack. So what's the value stack that we currently have? Please give it to me per tier. Okay. Okay, so tier one. Okay, so I changed the names to starter, pro, master for the tiers, just so it understands. So just to avoid. Okay, cool. So you get the 4 weeks of group calls, the dream offer templates, the swipe files, the community and accountability pod. Beautiful. One-on-one audit and 90 days access to Launchware. I'm cool with giving someone a one-on-one audit. And then this includes 2 sessions with me plus, okay, beautiful. And I'm going to beef that one up a bit too. So, okay, amazing. Let's write, and I'll go here real quick. So this right here, okay? I'll do it in yellow. Actually, let me just grab one of these. The infrastructure for it, so the framework for it is, think about it as in, a lot of people are like, here's what you get. And I used to make this mistake quite often too. The feature. You get this feature, you get this, this. That's cool, but it's feature, benefit, outcome. So I like to write these in the framework of feature, benefit, outcome. So I'm just going to task chat to do this. So go back here and, okay, amazing. Let's write each value stack component one at a time before moving on, starting with the first one. Please give me this format. So it'll be title, description with feature, benefit, outcome, pointing them towards dream outcome, and then the value. Cool. So let's see what we come up with. Okay, so join manager. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's a wall of text, especially as we add these up. So 1/3 the length, please. Okay. So in this case, this is part of the offer. 4 weeks of group calls. And we do have a new version coming out that you're going to answer you're answering 4 prompts and it'll do all this for you. But this is the non-AI version, and I'm obviously using AI over here. So then it needs a description. And then here, the tiers that get this. Well, tier 1 obviously gets this, and it goes back to this real quick, because sometimes people get confused about this. So like right now, we're on bullet point. We're on the first bullet point, right? So who gets the first bullet point? Well, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. That's what that part is right here. So starter gets it, pro gets it, and master gets it. And then we put a market value of 1997. So something, so with us, we tally up the total market value for you. And then we're gonna, create the payment options down here. As you can see, we automatically will ask you what's the full price and what's the special price. So this is your anchor, and this is the thing you're really gonna sell. The majority of your sales will come from the special price. So it does it for each tier, and then we are creating a payment plan. So I'll touch on that momentarily, but we are not done building the value stack. And then I'll touch on a rule for total market value that will support you with closing more people. So let's go and add the next thing. Okay, next. Okay, so the dream offer builder templates. So I'm going to call this recipes. Yep. Okay. So recipes. So this would be, yeah, that's fine. I can tweak that later, but just for the sake of the example, beautiful. So we have templates. Who all gets this? All three of them get this, and it's got a market value of this much. Add another one, hit next. So we haven't done any creative work still, so we're just answering basic questions. The messaging and positioning swipe files, beautiful. So let's grab that. It's part of the offer. Here's the write-up for it. For yourself, if you're a Launchware user and you're following along, amazing. Like stop and look at this. And if you're not, and you're going to build this elsewhere, once again, all good. But stop and actually read these and think about, okay, does this make sense? Is it my voice? I'm just moving a little bit faster for the sake of the example. So swipe files, beautiful. I can make swipe files in my sleep. So cool, good to go. Next. And all three of the tiers get that. Next. Community is key. I want to show you all real quick. So like when someone buys an offer, right? The delivery, like what does the delivery mechanism look like? I mean, it can be, and this is working really well. So for a group program, so you have your logo, but basically they have a place where, so this is the program name. And then there's like an about over here. And then there's a feed. So maybe it's a video review, some stuff. People can comment on it, and there's other people's content, right? So this is a delivery mechanism. So this is delivery mechanism. If that's too technical a word, whatever aligns. But this, having something like this, if you're running a group program, then like for example, this right here can be a calendar view so people can see the upcoming calls. This right here can be replays plus mini courses or other things that you have that you're putting inside of here that are increasing the value of this offer. Maybe there were some bonuses and you added some courses and different things like that. And then whatever else you want to take people to. So maybe like, for example, you could have like documents. Maybe you have workbooks and different things, PDFs, etc., Excel sheets you want them to have access to. Amazing. But you see how this allows you to deliver on, like for example, if you're doing live calls, the calendar leads to, the live session with the other participants. So you're able to do the thing, boom. And then you take the replay of that and you put it right back into a place where they log in. So that's a delivery mechanism. We have that inside of Launchware. You can, of course, go build it wherever you want. But I just want to give insight on that so it's clear, because if you're looking at the offer, having a community type thing is very valuable to people, especially in such a digital world. Having, even if it's a digital connection, people value that a tremendous amount. So then go here, description, beautiful, peers, okay, cool. So who gets that? All of them. $4.97. Now I want to actually add something for those that buy into tier 2 and beyond. They get lifetime access to the program portal, plus all bonuses, plus all replays. So this is something that doesn't really take, it doesn't cost you anything. You're already going to have the membership for the subscription or the platform, wherever you're hosting the stuff. So this is just another value that I will add to the higher ticket offers. So if someone buys the lowest tier, I usually won't include that because I want people to join at the high levels. All personal preference. If you want to give everyone everything, then you can. So starter does not get this. This is the first time starter doesn't get something. And this is, I'm going to put this at a $2,997 value, not even $1,500 value, because to have lifetime access to something that can help you build a 6+ figure business, then amazing. That's huge value. You can come back to it 3 years from now and still implement. Okay, so next. Now this is only for the pro tier or pro tier and beyond. So now we have the one-on-one launch audit. Totally cool with that. Boom. And 997 value. So let me grab this. So another time that starter doesn't get that. And I'm actually going to put that at 1297. I could put that at much more just because with 7+ figures of experience, I know the value that I bring. Cool. Next, 90 days access to Launchware, so the platform that builds everything for you. Boom. Once again, do whatever you want, but just here to show y'all how this all works, how to build your business. This is for pro and beyond, and this eliminates basically needing to pay like a $5,000 a month agency. So I'm going to put this at 14. I'm actually just going to put it at a flat 15,000. I'm not going to go against what I normally say, so 14,995. Cool. Huge value the second they jump into there. And the reason why is we have, not only does it build all your things for you, but we have daily life coaching and mentorship, and there's a lot of things that it does for you. So not pitching y'all, just speaking on why we can say it's a $15,000 value. Beautiful. Next, just a heads up, I put that at 15K value. Next. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, 2 private sessions. Okay, so let's actually go back because I think it's. Oh no, this is now just the master coach. Okay, or the master tier. So boom, boom. Okay, cool. So this is 2 private sessions. I'm going to put with CEO. And this I'm going to value at $10,000, so 9,997. Just because 2 1-hour sessions with me, obviously if you're at the beginning stages, I can still map out a $1 million flow for you. But if someone's a bit further ahead, just one conversation, one framework, one flow mapped out like this can obviously change the trajectory or something. So I know the value behind that. So this is where putting in the reps, like having confidence in the things that you bring to the table, the value you bring. Because someone might challenge, like, how can you say that's worth $10,000? And I can easily be able to speak into that. So really sit with like what you truly believe and can confidently say that your value is, right? Cool. Then, okay, rapid sales sprint. So yes, let's add, so I want to sell more of the highest tier. So let's add 2 exclusive bonuses to the 3rd tier. The rapid fire sales sprint will be called 30 days to close and will be a 30-day sprint with our lead sales trainer, Gerald Limangelli, who runs a 50K per month sales training business. And then the next bonus will be a 30-day sprint for 30 days to social media mastery with my co-founder Preston Smiles, co-founders social media manager Astro Zen. Okay, cool. So let's let it give a write-up. And I'm going to make this one stand out because not only can you come in, you get the strategy sessions with me, but then you're going to get these additional bonuses with my other coaches. So I'm making that one really stand out. And I'll talk through like my the psychology behind my pricing and how I'm going to do this. So, okay, boom. I'm going to make this a bonus. Okay, cool. So we got this. and this is only for master tier, and then I'm going to put this at 4997 because I know the value that he brings, and even 1 or 2 clients in that 30-day sprint will easily be worth that amount of money. Cool. And then let's go to the social one. Okay, cool. So boom, boom. Now we'll do right up here. We're going to do this. Master, coach, and this, I'm going to put this at 2997. Okay, beautiful. So I'm not going to add anything else. So we have the full value stack, and as you see here, we have astronomically way more, I guess not, it's like a 10x jump, but a lot more value in here. So here's kind of the rule of thumb. Like when you're looking at things like this, you want to have, it's called the 10x rule. So I'll go back to the iPad real quick. When we're looking at a value stack like this, there's essentially like you get, maybe I'll do it over here because we have the check marks. I'll delete this. So we have something like total value is this much, but today only this much, right? So usually what you want is this to be 10x the cost. So the value, the rule is value equals 10x cost. So we go back here, we have a and you don't have to do this, but it just gives you kind of an idea. So I'm definitely not going to charge, and it's not too far off, but I wouldn't sell a 4-week group like program for $400. So I'm okay with that one not really meeting the criteria. This one's going to for sure meet the criteria, and I care more about selling more of these ones. So I'm going to say for my starter package, I'm going to put it at $997. And then full price outside of my special offer, I'm going to charge 1.5 times the amount. So I'm going to charge $14.97 for this. Okay. So then for the second tier, okay, well I can charge $2,000 for this one if we want to look at the 10x rule. But I do really kind of want to highlight this one even more. So I want this middle one to be closer to this one. So because whenever you come into the offer, let's see. So after the community, this is where Pro Coach comes in. You get lifetime access to the portal. That's awesome value. And then you get the launch audit with me. And then you get 90 days access to Launchware. That's pretty awesome. So I'm going to put this at, okay, so we have essentially our price point. If we meet the 10x rule, so we're going to be like 2,300. I'm going to put this at 2,497. It doesn't fully meet the 10x rule because it would need to be 24,000, but it's close enough. And then this is going to be 1.5 the amount, the full price. So I'm just going to go here to not do math. What's 1.5 times 2,497? Okay. So we have 37. So I'm going to do 3747. So basically 3750 is the full price. And now for the master coach. So this is $41,000 of value. I'm going to put this at the special price. I'm going to put it at if this is 2,500, I'm going to put the special price. I'm going to give it an awesome deal. So I'm going to put the special price for only $500 more. So for only $500 more, you get, the 2 sessions with me. You get the 2 sprints. That's powerful, and it's only $500. So it goes back to the popcorn analogy, and then I can do math, but still, well, this would just be 4,500. So 497. Cool. All right, so now we ask you payment plans. So for a 3-month program, I'm going to put payment plans of monthly, and it's going to be monthly installments. So I'll do that for all of them. And I'm going to teach all the rule of thumb for payment plans, because you don't want to just divide the number by 3. Like if you were to say for the master plan, 2,997 divided by 3, you're giving no incentive for someone to just pay you outright. So what I'm going to do is here are my pay in full prices. So tier 1 is full price equals, let's see, and you could do this with a calculator, but cool. Special equals 997. Tier 2 full price equals, and once again you can start pausing and do this yourself. 37.47. Special equals 24.97. And as you can see, I'm staying consistent. If I choose a 7, just do a 7 for the rest of them, even if you have to round sometimes. And then tier 3, and I'll show you rounding here in a sec. Payment plans. Tier 3, we say full price equals 4497. Special price equals 2997. Cool. And if anything, I could even bump this up some more. Like it can not meet the 10x rule and also be like, I could put this at 4997. So making this special offer save, what is it? Save $2,000 when you join. You get to dictate what you want to put pricing at. Okay, cool. Now can you please give me a 3-month payment plan for each of those, with a 20% tax on tier 1, 15% tax on tier 2, and a 10% tax on tier 3. Let's see if it understands. Essentially, the reason I'm doing that, I want to reward people that invest the most, and if they want to do a payment plan, I'll meet them where they're at, but I have to make a little extra. I don't want to incentivize someone to only pay, if they're like, hey, I can't pay $3,000 right now, but can I divide it in 3 and just pay you $1,000 a month? It's like, well, we can go and look at maybe a firm if you want to explore something with payment plans, but our in-house plan is 3 monthly installments of, and let's see what numbers we came up with. So 3 monthly installments of $1,097. So basically $1,100, and I'm making an extra 10%, an extra $300 is what I'm making. So this makes you incentivize people to pay in full. So let's look at starter package. So we have $597, 3 payments of $597, and then for the other it's $397. Beautiful. And now for the Pro, we have $1447. I'm just going to stay consistent. And then we have $957. I'll just go 47 since I've been using 47s. Cool. And then for the highest tier, it's 18. I'll do 1847. And this is going to be 1097. Beautiful. So now I have all my pricing, and we're basically done. I'm going to hit continue. And then the next question is just going to ask us, do we want to have an application for someone to work with us? If you did, you could just add an application and ask for specific information. I'm okay with anyone being able to buy the offer and joining at the whenever the next cohort happens. So hit add offer. And for me, I'll most likely run it, even though it's live, they can join at any time. Hey, you have your focus points, and my live calls are more focused on support, Q&A, talking strategy, etc. in a group setting. So I put everyone, and then this is asking for testimonials. For the sake of this example, I'm going to move on, but this is where you can add different testimonials, the name of the person, the testimonial, and a headshot of the person. And you can add as many as you want. By the time if you're inside of Launchware, by the time you're watching this, most likely we'll have the next iteration of this where you get to have you can select the type of testimonial, video or written. So I'm going to say skip this and create the offer. And now our offer has been created. So we went from a concept of an idea, like, hey, we want to create something. and the platform is currently building it. And they're going to be fully functioning pages ready to go. So if later today I jump on a sales call and I'm talking to a coach or a consultant that wants to get their ideas out of their head, I'm going to pitch them my agency first and foremost, and that's the $42,000 a year starting point. But most people aren't going to be in position for that. Hey, no worries. Totally understand you're not in a position to invest $42,000. What if I invite you to come into my program where over 4 weeks we're going to take that idea that you have and birth that into the market. We have a couple different options on how that can work. Would you like to learn a little bit more about that? It starts at $997, or I could even say it starts at just $397. If I just went from $40,000 to $400, the person's going to be like, oh my God, yes, like tell me more. And I just price anchored the shit out of that. So now I can literally just, sell this with a lot less friction than saying for the first thing, oh yeah, it's $397 or whatever my initial. You see how if you work backwards, like here's what it is, like give them the premium and then work backwards. And if you don't for a lot of coaches, you don't have a $42,000 offer. So in that case, we just did 3 tiers. So if you're talking, share initially what the anchor is. Joining our program is this much, but right now, typically it's what do we have here? Typically it's $5,000, but because you're on this call today, I want to invite you in at only $2,997, and we do have some alternative tiers where you can start for as little as $397. Would you like to learn a little bit more? Hell yeah, that sounds cool. Okay, cool. And just have a conversation with the person, but having the special offers and price anchoring will support you a tremendous amount. And then I do also invite y'all to try not to wing things as much. I'll go back here. Try not to wing things as much. Like just create a framework. Like you can ask chat, and you can feed it the right books. But can you help me create a script for an enrollment call with a coach or consultant that would be a good fit for this program? I'll always lead with my $42K per year agency offer as a price anchor, and then show them these other options when they can't do the 42K. Cool. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time today. Before I share what I do, I'd love to learn a little bit about you. Do you mind telling me a little bit about your coaching business right now? So, and then, giving context to the person, high anchor, boom, downsell to the other offers. And that would just make my process so much easier. Like last week I was on 2 sales calls and the people were not in position at all to invest at the 42K mark. And totally cool. The downsell, this would be a perfect downsell. But real quick, I just want to show y'all. So we went from idea, right? So here we have Launch Academy Elite, and I'm just going to click these 3 dots. By the time you're watching this, there will be an additional button called Funnel Map. It takes you to the full flow of the business of this offer, so you can visually see the pages and where things go, and you can edit more. But I'm just going to go here and just view my links. And so here is the standalone. So here's the special offer links, and it's for the tier page, and then each individual. Here's tier 1, here's tier 2, here's tier 3, and then here's the full general pricing for each tier as well. So I'm just going to open this, and boom. So we have a functioning, and we could edit the page, but we have a functioning page ready to go. Looks clean. I can go here, and as you see, it's less than 24 hours. And if I refresh, so we're at the 57 and 58. Okay, cool. So refresh, boom. So the clock continues to go. So now once they hit 0, this is going to force redirect to the other one. So here's the starter. What's included? So let's say I have a call with a person and I give them this link. The second they open it, it's now locked into their cookies and they can see, okay, I get the 4 weekly calls, the dream offer recipes, the messaging, and the community. And then, okay, I don't get this anymore. Okay, so this one I get the lifetime access to the portal, the one-on-one audit, the 90-day, and I don't get these things. Okay, and this one I get that, I get this, and I get the 30-day total value, and how much is it right now? Boom, 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 and here are the different options. So I can click this, and cool, I have a way for someone to join. They save money if they take action within the allotted time. This is the offer, how much it is, a little bit about me, and just something super simple but fully functioning and ready to start collecting payment. Person will either do this or they will do the payment plan. Okay, so this is what I can do right now. Boom, 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 place the order, and it takes them to the next steps. You see how now we have something? Before, a second ago, we were just here. We had an idea, but now we have something that we can utilize. So now if I have a call on, let's say I have a Calendly and someone books a call, well, that's going to lead to me jumping on a call with someone, right? And on that call, I'm either going to make the offer or not a fit. So if they're not a fit, then okay. And then if I make the offer, and if I make this a special offer, then this once again keeps the ball in my side of the court. And I'll do 3. It's either they're going to buy, not yet, they need more time, or just a flat out no. And then that, of course, ends up going to probably not a good fit then. But in this case, if they buy, we take them into the delivery mechanism. If not yet, this is an opportunity to maybe invite them into like a free community to then serve them with value. Maybe there's like a monthly call you do for the free community to eventually get them to buy, and then they get the delivery mechanism. So you see how systems, and now, we, on this call, if it's a good fit, I make the offer, and there's a finite period of time that they have access to that. So it increases the percentage of people that will buy by just having that in place. And this works instantly for those that just are even taking calls. So if you're taking a call, you have something like this, beautiful. So let's go back to the iPad. So if we're looking at things, we just built the offer. So I'm going to circle this or give it a little check mark. So I'm going to do this. Style, fill, green. Okay. So we just built the offer. Beautiful. So now let's go and create the delivery mechanism. This is the thing that happens after they pay, right? So if we go here, this right here, or I guess let me stay consistent with colors. What was this? It was the purple. Okay. Okay, so we have this purple, and this is the delivery mechanism. So what does this look like? So what is this? What is this? So the delivery mechanism is essentially after they pay. So after they pay, this is where they experience or consume what they paid for, right? So online, what does that look like? Well, it looks like this. Like for a group program, and I'll even bring these over again. Okay. So this is what it looks like for a group program. Even if you were doing a course, some type of portal where they log in, they access the material. And even if you're doing a course, like I would sell it inside of some type of community type container, and people that are in the course, you can still do like a live monthly call or even a weekly call, but then that adds value, keeps people engaged and accountable in finishing the course, and they want to be a part of the community. So that's a delivery mechanism, and the reason why it's important, of course, is to deliver on the service that you had. So people are happy after they pay you, so they gave you money, and they're happy with their decision. And usually, what happens is if they're happy with it, then you have the opportunity to ascend them. So maybe like you start off with something free, and then you have like a $497 course, and then you have a $1,500 program, and then maybe you have like a $10,000 private coaching. So where are they in the journey? They went from here to here. Amazing. Well, can we now work on ascending them to here? And then from the group program, like can we ascend them? And one just little pro tip on group programs is, let's say it's 12 weeks. We'll add an extra week, and this is like a graduation. And I should have added this on my value stack, but then you could even add like 2 extra weeks. And these are post integration calls, or like implementation calls. So you get to check with people. So you host a call, and you have some people that are joining that were past members that finished the thing. Okay, cool. So this not only gives you an opportunity for delivering value, but some people will fall off, and they won't fell off / need more support. And of course, there's still like celebration in this, celebrating the ones that are taking action, but you're able to, in this, ascend them to your next offer. And it has to be like a logical step, right? Like you don't want to go from, hey, you bought this, now buy this lower thing. It's, hey, you bought this and you finished it. I think you'd be a perfect fit for this. And typically it's 15K, but because you graduated, and typically it's 15K, and we run some specials here and there where it's 10K, but because you graduated and you actually went through, like I want to invite you in for 50% off, 7.5K. So you're rewarding them for being committed and doing the work, and all of a sudden you created a gnarly offer. And as we saw in Launchware, we could just take the quiz and create a different version of the offer that has that 50% off. So this is where it gets really interesting, because if you learn to ascend people, you could 2x to 4x your business with the existing clientele that you have. So you just ascend people, and this increases the lifetime value of the customer. It increases your average order value, because as you look at all your transactions and people are paying more, okay, cool. So that grows your average order value. So for a delivery mechanism, let's go ahead and just, let's build something out. So I want to go back here. So we built that offer. Let's go ahead and actually create the delivery mechanism. We don't need to have all the stuff. but I want to go ahead and just create something so we can see a visual play. So if I sell someone tomorrow or today, I have a way to bring them into my world, or like have them go somewhere after they pay. Excuse me. So I'm not going to get lost on all these things. I'm just going to do the next thing, which is about building the delivery mechanism, and I'm building it inside of a community. So I'm going to say, I'm going to add a new business because I don't see LeftSpire here. So LeftSpire, yes, I have a logo. So we just need some branding, and then anything we create inside will automatically have it. So, okay, logo. I'm going to do the dark one because the community is a light background. So, boom. Favicon is that little icon once again. My color, I'll just pull it. Okay. Beautiful. My buttons, I'm going to give them a 10x, and then I'm going to stay consistent. So I used Oswald for headline and Leto for body. Beautiful. I'm going to stay consistent on my imagery as well. So my background image, if you keep a cohesive branded experience, that just makes you look more professional, and it's not jarring. Like if they jump from a piece of content to a page that has this background and then the next page is completely different, it's kind of jarring. So I'm just going to put the business email. Okay. And I'm not even going to worry about this. I'm just going to go ahead and continue. And now I'm going to build the community for LeftSpire for this specific offer, Launch Academy Elite. So I'm going to create a community, and inside of the community is where I'm going to house the calendar and the replays and different things like that. So for the sake of, okay, now we're working on the delivery mechanism, and in this case, I'm building a community side of Launchware. You can build it wherever you want, where I'll also have the calendar for the live calls, plus on-demand access to replays, mini courses, etc. Whatever I want to add. Plus, okay, that's good enough. Can you give me a community name and a short about me, about for the program community? Cool. So we'll go into Launch Academy. I'm just going to call it Launch Academy Elite. I can create a collective later on, another different community. Launch Academy, okay, so I'm going to make this, I'm going to say 1/3 length on about. I don't need a long about. Your hub is a little longer. So it'll be quick. All right, sweet. Boom, let's go to replays, mid trainings, it's where coaches, cool, beautiful. Boom. Community, I'm going to make it private. Yeah, if it's public, so we're about to roll out a global community feature. So inside of Launchware, other members can see your communities. But because it's a paid one, I'm making it private. Additional resource, this gives you like different items for your navigation menu. Pretty vital, because if you see here, now we just took all that away. And for my group program, I need to have a calendar. So for a website, if they need to go to the website, I can just send them there. Boom. So let me go here. So if you need to go to the website, beautiful. Calendar. So let's say I do a call every Monday at 6 p.m. So I'm going to pick my time zone. This is going to be weekly strategy and implementation session, and I'm going to kick it off next Monday at 6 p.m. and it usually will run, I'm going to allow it to run for 2 hours. I like doing this kind of stuff. So boom, set, and then can you give me a short description for a calendar event called this is where I'm going to host the calls for the participants. And I'll probably work on some way of, like people that bought the lowest tier, they get the 4 calls, and then they have an option. They can stay in. They can pay some monthly fee. If not, we take them out of the platform. The people that bought the higher tiers, they can stay on forever. But the lower people, they still get the information, but then they want to stay on, sell them for $50 a month or something like that. So I can build up recurring revenue, which is the holy grail for any business, essentially. Include a mock Zoom link and make it short, 1/4 length. Okay. Okay. Boom. All right, beautiful. And then this, I'm just going to do this. Boom. Okay. So, boom. And then I'm going to say this is a repeat every week. And then if I wanted to add like a one-off call, like let's say I wanted to do a call, let's go to September. Let's say I wanted to do a call like September 17th. And this is what I'd call it, like ask me anything, path to 6+ figures. Cool. So then now a monthly call. Okay. So it's going to give me another just example. Cool. Sure, that works. And select time. I'm going to do this one. The Q&A or the AMA will be 90 minutes long. Nah, it can still be 2 hours. I'm cool with that. Boom. And it'll be earlier in the day. Monthly session, get directed up, boom, 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 boom. And then I would just make sure that that's a clickable link. Beautiful. Okay, so my calendar is good. I'm going to hit update calendar. I'll come back to trainings here in a bit, but this is where you can build like mini courses and whatnot. But so like I can go in here, add a training, and then like create a full mini course or full course, and this would be like where I'd have the replays of the thing. So yeah, I'll come back to this a little bit. We can look at that momentarily, but we don't need to get lost in that right now. It's more about like, let's create the delivery mechanism, or at least the foundation for it. Then we can always come back. So once again, this will be where we put the replays. I'll just at least have, this would be Launch, Academy, Elite, replays. Or I'll just name it that. If I wanted to create a category for it, I could. Not going to bother with that. And then we want to get a featured image. So this is the only time that you need to have some type of, if you can do some thumbnail, go ask GPT. I'm going to just actually do it in GPT to avoid graphic design. So can you make me a 1920 by 1080? So that's like a YouTube style dimension. Can you make me a 1920 by 1080 thumbnail for Launch Academy Elite, please? This is going in my portal for paying members. Make it have some. I'm just gonna let it do whatever it wants to do. So I'll come back to this here in a minute. So Launch Academy Elite. I'll just copy this. Let's give it a second. I'll do this real quick. Yeah, we'll come back to this. Cool. So then documents, this is giving a library of documents. So it's kind of the same concept, but it's like, what kind of document are you giving them? If you have workbooks, so you take a screenshot of a workbook. So let me actually, if I look at downloads, I should have like avatar. So yeah, let's say this is a document I want to give them. So I'm just going to go ahead and just take a screenshot of the thing. I could do something like this. Boom. Just for the sake of the example. Okay. So I'll close this. This will be what I upload. I'm going to title this. This is Avatar Clarity Workbook. Okay. And then I'll set a featured image. So screenshot. Cool. Okay, so I'll update that. So at least there's one document there. We'll come back to trainings here in a minute. This is asking you, okay, so contact. If I want a contact form, I could also send them to an external contact form. I'll just keep it as yes. And then do you want them to be able to view other Launchware communities? Nope. Do you want to recommend any other communities? Nope. If I did, you could say yes and pick some other communities. Now I'm just going to hit continue. And we're almost done with this. We just gave it the initial information. Now we just have one more step before we unlock and build the community. And it's just making sure that it looks how we want it to look. So give it a second to load. Okay, cool. So it has our font. I'm going to choose just normal Lato font for the community because it's just a little cleaner, and so I'm kind of creating my own platform for them. It's already got my colors, my buttons, the logo. Disregard this. It's not supposed to be that big, but whatever. Move on. So logo, my favicon, my background image, beautiful, and you can see it there. And then something kind of cool is I can also promote promote something. So the same way like in Facebook you see that you have like a promotional banner. So I'm just going to do internal, and down here it adds basically like an ad space, like a little ad icon or graphic. So we're going to go, I said internal, so I'm going to pitch another offer. So this is Preston's offer. I'm going to say SMA. I'm going to say 50% off. SMA Pro. Okay, nope. SMA Plus. Cool. And then I'm going to say Unlock Spiritual Millionaire Academy and save $500. I could write something much better, but claim now. So now I have this little banner, so I'll hit continue, or I'll hit publish. And since I'm in a split screen, it's a little bit condensed. Yep. Okay, cool. So now we unlocked the community center, and the only thing that matters right now is just let's actually go look at what that looks like. So here's our sign up. So we have our sign up URL and our login URL. So I'm going to just sign up here. Boom. Okay. So when you're signing up, so someone just paid, right? So if we go back here, someone paid here, right? So before they get here on this next step, we're going to say create your account, create account. That takes them to the page y'all are seeing where they're going to put in their info, and then they'll add their profile picture, answer some other things, and then they're inside of the container. And that's a professional way to get someone into something. So in this case, after they paid me, send it to a sign up page. Cool. Remember me, register. Okay. So now you put your profile picture. I've created some other communities, so it already knows. Boom. Hit update. And now I'm inside of Launch Academy Elite, and I can click on This should say Launch Academy Elite right here. The team I know is working on cleaning that up right now. Just a little bug that's happening. But anyways, now I can see. So for example, let's go into next month. So we can easily jump into the calls. The recurring, this should be recurring. So yeah, I'll check with the team on that. But anyways, now I have a place I can just go back into the editor and clean anything up. But now I have an easy way for someone to buy and come into my community, right? Into the delivery mechanism. And then I can post like a welcome video here. So let's say, here to go, I'll just grab a YouTube video. So one sec, boom. Boom. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna grab a video. So I'm gonna make a post so at least there's something here for the sake of the example. So media, boom, here's a YouTube video, save, and then I'll put do this to 100x. Kind of wild, but I was able to 100x plus my life by doing free work for people that were 5 to 10 years ahead of where I was back then. If you're or watch this video, then comment below on your biggest takeaway. So it probably wouldn't be the thing I'd post, but anyways, boom. So now we have a post, the caption, and people can comment behind on this. Cool. One thing we're working on is adding DMs, so your community members can communicate with one another. But the main thing is communicating the feed, easily access the calls, access the trainings. So like Launch Academy Elite, they can jump in. I didn't upload anything into this. If there's documents you want to give them documents that they can access, and just like they hit download, and cool, they have access to the PDF and whatever you're giving them. But see how it's a professional experience now. They can of course log out whenever they want, update their profile picture and things like that. So yeah, and post long form content, like full articles that they wanted to, but just allows you to create this professional experience. And then here's the claim offer, and this goes to whatever we put. In this case, it was to Preston's offer. So now we went from idea. So let me scroll down here. In this session so far, we've gone from I have an idea. Okay, so the little whoop. And we've gone and we built an offer. So we have pages with functioning emails that sell our thing. And in reality, we have this. Like this is what we built, and we just basically took a quiz. Boom. So you can see like I haven't found anywhere else where I can build even close to this amount of work. And this would be the special offers. And we also built a replica of that. I'll put this smaller because it's already getting really big. And this would be the full price version. So we just answered a couple of questions and we have all that built out. And then all of those, after someone buys, they go somewhere, right? And we just built the delivery mechanism. So the logo, the community feed, even the promotional thing for promoting some type of ascension or accompanying offer. So we went from idea to building all this, and it's been, we've done that in about 2 hours. So we didn't have to be technical. We didn't do a bunch of stuff. We just answered questions, and beautiful. Now we have this ready to go. The only next thing I would tell you to do is, let me back up. So inside of Launch Academy Elite, if you were using Launchware, then I would go to the editor for Launch Academy Elite. And in this first step, we asked you the next steps, right? Like what happens after someone buys? Okay, well, let's actually put that in place. So we could go here and we could copy our sign up link. So can delete this and then just this, paste. Beautiful. Okay, and then the login link. So let me get that here. Boom. Okay. Beautiful. And then I'm going to say introduce yourself in the community. So they already know that they'll see that they're spit out into a community. So after you create your account, make sure to introduce yourself. Let's grab this. Okay, boom. Beautiful. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to update these. Okay, cool, those work. Access to Launchware, I would of course provide the respective link for that. And then here it would be a Calendly link. But boom. And now we have at least for sure tier 1 fully functions. Here I would probably just, if I didn't have this ready, I would just say booking calls will be scheduled on the onboarding call. So on the onboarding call, we'll be like, hey, let's schedule out, what's your schedule look like, and etc. Or if you had your link ready, then you could do that. So I'm just gonna actually go back because it's okay. This is just a mock example. But now, yeah, we have, if we go back here, we now have, what else do we have? We now have the delivery mechanism. Copy. I could put all my instructions inside of here. Hey, welcome to the course. Or welcome to the program. Inside, you're going to find XYZ. This is where you're going to get access to all the replays. And I could have like a welcome section. And for building this part out, this is where just inside of the community, we can just go in here. So edit the training, add a hero image. So let's say this is the hero image. Save Launch Academy Elite, Launch Academy Elite thumbnail. Okay. Downloads Launch Academy Elite. Say date added. Where did I save it? One sec. Save image as. Where is it saved? Why don't I see it? Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to screenshot it for the sake of moving on. and then screenshot, boom. Okay, cool. Beautiful. Okay. So now let me go here. Okay, and so this is where I can say like welcome, or I can make the section getting started, and then I'll just talk to chat. Can you help me create the portal for the program? Getting started, no content, section equals getting started, subsections inside that would be welcome to Launch Academy Elite, need write up, then I'll do about the program, and then how to get the most out of this program. And I'll even do why this program is key to your success. Okay, so let's start with that. And then this will be, so welcome to Launch Academy Elite. Come over here. And now we can do a write-up. So let's say, give me a 4x longer write-up. Let's focus on one at a time. So I'm gonna try to blaze through this real quick. Da-da-da, da-da, inside you'll find the portal, everything, da-da, beautiful. So here's my write-up. How long's the completion for the initial thing? I'm just gonna put like 4 minutes. This is just the reading document, or just the section. Then I can add a video if I want to add a, for example, I'll just put this video in here. Okay, and I don't need an image since I have a hero video. Cool. And then if I had them download something, so for example, let me grab that PDF, download, name, cool. So let's say I have something that I want them to download, cool. And then let's go next. So this would be about the program, okay, beautiful. So obviously I would read this more in depth, but this is building out. Let's say this is a 5-minute read. And then here, this is the only time I'm gonna do something that is a little bit more creative. So I'm gonna create essentially inside of the portal. So when someone clicks onto the trainings, as y'all saw earlier, so they click on the thing and there's like a library of, so if I had 3 courses, and they would see all those. And if they click into one of those, it takes them inside. It's still the same community platform experience, but now they're able to consume the content. And here's the video, a little write-up. Cool, right? So what we're gonna do is this right here. If it's not a video, I like it to be an image thumbnail, and usually just something simple like sub, headline, and then like a little button. Like nothing crazy. So I do that with graphic design software. So I'm just going to go ahead and crank those out. You can do those in Canva very easily. So I'm inside of a graphic design tool that I use. I'm not really doing a tutorial on this, but if you're wanting to learn how it works, it's called Graphic. You can get it on the Apple App Store, and I'm just going to be doing layers. So you can fast forward through this. I'm going to speed through this really quickly. I'm just going to add an image. So downloads, background, cool. So make sure that takes up the full space. So I'm sticking to consistency, right? So then I'm going to add an overlay on top of that image. Actually, let me go back. Make sure there's no outline. Cool. So now I'm going to add an overlay on top of that image, and that's what I did just by answering the question, putting the image and selecting 66 for the opacity, and then I'm going to say Launch Academy Elite. Cool. So this is centered. Okay. And then I want to have make sure I have the right colors. I'm doing it with this blue, so I'm going to grab the blue. Okay, so Launch Academy Elite. Going to make it the consistent color. And then this right here, this, and once again, you can make this in Canva really easily. It just looks more professional. And this is just the title of the thing. So if I'm of the subsection, so this is about the program. So I'm going to put about the program. So make this bigger. Okay. And once I have it once, like one version of it, then I can just do it again. Boom. And so I'll just do this. So brought to you by Manuel Mercatus. Whatever, a little something, something, boom. And if I spent more time, I could make this cleaner, but nothing crazy. Cool. Boom. Okay, amazing. So this will be about the program, so just launch course. This would be portal build, and this would be, I'll call this to about program. So save it as an image. Okay, and then what other sections am I going to have? So next. Okay, so here I'm just going to upload an image about the program. Cool, now I'm going to add another subsection. And this why is just kind of reiterating the point, like, because oftentimes people like jump into things and they don't follow through. So reminding people why it's key that they do the thing is, I think it definitely helps. I'm going to say 7 minutes. That looks a little bit longer of a read, and I might be super over exaggerating it, but whatever. So I'm going to go here, and this will be why this program is key to your success. So I like the sake of consistency, so I'm going to keep that there for later. So why this program is key to your success. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do this. Where's the original? So I'm going to group. Okay, one sec. I'm just very picky about staying consistent. I should make sure my spacing is consistent. Boom. Get out of here. Boom. Beautiful. So now, and I want to bring this other one back just in case. Oops. Nah, it's okay, whatever. Okay, so Y, this is Y program. Beautiful. So here I'll add the image. Shouldn't be 4. Next. And I'm just going to put just the first week and then we'll be good to go. But at least in that case, someone comes in, they basically, you know, like are going to be like, oh, dang, like this is legit. Like, I'm inside of a full, like professional, I'm working with a professional coach. So boom. Then we'll go over here. We're going to get some gnarly write-ups. So how to get the most out of the program. I'm going to say this is 10 minutes. And I'm going to upload it. So how to get the most out of the program. Cool. We'll do for how to get. Sure. Cool. Upload an image. Now let's go into week 1. Okay, so week one, clarity and foundations. Okay, live session, okay, so full write-up on this, please. And this is actually not going to be, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to delete this. This is a subset. I don't want it to be a subsection inside of getting started. I want it to be its own section. So I'm going to say a new section. And this is week 1. So go here. Welcome to week 1. I don't like when it gives me all the dividers. Give me a full write-up for welcome to week 1, and don't put any dividers. That's those lines. The second you see those lines, usually it just tells you, okay, AI is writing all of it. So, this week is focused on your job. Okay, cool. So now that, you know, in this case, so welcome to week 1, so I could do something where it's just like a write-up first, and this would be like 10-minute read. But then let's say like the next section, the next subsection within week 1 will be where the video course is for this week. So cool, I'm gonna add another subsection. So week 1 video training. So I'm gonna call it, sure, I'll keep it. I'll do what it gave me. Boom. And now here, I'm just gonna grab that existing YouTube video that I put in here. This, you'd of course want to put a real video, but you can do this later on. It's more just have the thing built, at least the skeleton built, and then along the way, like for example, if I'm running this in my calls, like for the way I'm kind of setting this program up is you can watch the content on demand, but then there's the weekly sessions where we're going to go through things and, you know, where's everyone at? Hey, I'm in week 1, I'm in week 3, amazing, boom, boom, boom. Here's what you got to make sure you do, but really create a space for support and accountability. So you get to decide how you want to run these things. But if you were running it as a group program, as a traditional group program, then this would be welcome to week 1. You know, in the description, you'd probably add something along the lines of, take that off. This is the starting line, we go live on date. Click here to join live. And then you just add a hyperlink to the thing, boom, and amazing, that goes to your Zoom link. So I'll do something like that, cool. And then you would put the replay in week 1 replay, right? So just wanted to kind of preface that for anyone that's running a normal group program and not a hybrid kind of style that I'm showing here. So here, let's say this would be the video. So I'm going to put the video here. So the video's there. I'm going to say this is a 45-minute of your time. Cool. I'm going to just end it there for now. You could add all the sections you wanted. So I want to save that. And then once it's done now, if I go back here, now refresh, here's Launch Academy Elite. I can start the training. And cool, amazing. There's the welcome video, a description. I can mark this as completed. I can download the resource. Beautiful, boom. Now I have this professional branded experience about the program. Okay, cool, so here's about the program. I just need to clean up some of the spacing, just kind of went through that quickly. Why this is key, how to get the most out of it. Let's go into week 1, welcome to week 1. Oh, I never put in a thumbnail, so we could do that later, but cool. Boom, and here's a video, and here's the actual training and material. So now we have a professional way to just make it easy for people to come into our world. And you know, we did it in a couple hours together, and now, you know, we've fully accomplished that. So we have the offer in place. So we have an offer in place, we have the delivery mechanism, and we know how we're going to fulfill on the things. Now all we have left is to create some type of launch for this. So now let's go ahead and actually build the launch vehicle. So we're going to go down here and talk about launch vehicles. So go back to this, and we'll do so what they are is essentially like ways to get leads and enroll leads into your coaching or consulting offer. All right, so there's a couple different types. So we could do, for example, so we could do like someone lands on a page and there's like a little headline, there's a video, a subheadline or a description, and a call to action. And this could be as simple, and if you wanted to add some testimonials, you could add testimonials so people can see, okay, some social proof, and then you have the footer of the page, right? So this, consider it like a VSL, video sales letter, VSL, where someone can land on this page. Someone lands on this page. They watch a video of you where you add value to them. You could do like the who are you? What is this? Why is it important to pay attention for the next 15, 20, 30 minutes? And how is this going to be something that they can implement? And the how is moving the person towards the dream, their dream outcome. So there's different frameworks for VSLs. You can talk to GPT on a script and just basically get in front of a camera, record, boom. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to How to Build Your Dream Coaching Business in Under an Hour by simply taking a quiz. In this short video, I'm going to show you literally how to do all that without you having to be technical or hire an expensive team. Why this matters, so many of you have been thinking about the thing for years now. You've maybe been talking about it for a long time, and I want to show you by the end of these 15 minutes that we're going to have together, you're actually going to go from idea to building something out. And if that's exciting to you, you're going to be able to see below a path to join for 50% off. But before you click or do anything like that, I want you to just see what this is, why it's important, and how you're going to be able to do it today. If that's exciting, let's get started. See, all I did was who, what, why, how, and I didn't like ramble about different things. I stayed focused and I followed a framework. So let's go back to the iPad. So in this case, you know, this button right here, you send them to wherever you want. So this could be to a special offer, special offer. This could be to book a call. And remember that when you book a call and you have a session with someone, you can use this special offer. So, hey, you know, I want to just acknowledge you for showing up today. And because you're here and you were vulnerable, whatever reasons you want, you do your special offer anchoring what it normally is. And you think they'd be a perfect fit. Typically it's this much, but because you're here today, you jumped on this call, you showed up. I want to reward you for that. And you can join for this much. Or a couple monthly installments of this much. Cool. So VSL can go to different things like that. You could send people to maybe like a quiz funnel that asks some questions, kind of like a hidden application funnel that then leads someone to booking a call with you or leads someone to claiming an offer. So you could decide what you want, but I'm just showing you a couple different vehicles that you can create. So that's one. Another would be a webinar funnel. So for example, someone signs up. So you have a headline. So you have like a little video, boom, a countdown, and then a button. And then there's other things on the page. But this is considered an opt-in page. And then when someone signs up for the webinar, they should get an email, a series of emails, and then let me just grab this. And this is the thank you page / next step. So there's like some stuff. Step 1, do this. Like add the call to your calendar. Step 2, do this. And so that then leads to, I'll zoom in over here. And I'm actually going to move this. So let's move this down here, because the webinar funnel is pretty gnarly. And with what we built, I'm going to show you. So real quick, this is how beast of a thing we've already built, and we already have a good chunk of it done. So webinar is going to lead to, obviously, a call, i.e. a webinar, workshop. So this could be webinar, workshop, masterclass, or just a training, whatever you want to call it. But it's somewhere where you're going to add value to people and you're going to provide them a way forward to work with you. So let me grab these pages. And once again, y'all can go build this wherever you want. But to do this, obviously it takes work to understand how all this works, how to do all these things. So I'm teaching it high level, but if you don't want to go and learn how to build it all from scratch, then y'all can go check out Launchware. It's zero pressure though. So in the webinar, you make an offer, and this is the special offer, right? So this is special offer. Because y'all showed up, and a percentage of people show up. So let's say you get 100 people, 100 people land on this page, and let's say 40 people sign up. So that means we have a 40% conversion rate. And then let's say you get 15 people show up to the live webinar. So out of this, you have a percentage. I can't do the math in my head right now. What would that be? It'd be like 19%. It's like 90% show up rate for the 15 people. And then from here, there will be some people that drop off. So maybe by the end of the webinar, you have 13 people left. So you lost 2 along the way. Some people join and leave along the way too. And then you make an offer. So here, whenever you make the offer, a percentage of them will click and go check it out, and some won't, right? They're just gonna, okay, I was just here for the free and that's it. But the percentage of people that click, those people land in here, and then there'll be a percentage of people that will go check this offer out, this offer out, and this offer out. So you're able to meet people where they're at. And you present an offer, so you pitch. So we pitch offer, and it's limited time. So it's only available for a limited amount of time. And then when they don't take action, all of this, I'll do it like this again. And then I'll put this over here. So limit. So if no action, as in they don't buy, expires to here, and this is the full price. So this is full price version, and we automatically do that for you. You can, of course, once again, go build it wherever you want. So that is a webinar funnel. And then we, of course, have here would be a replay page, so they can watch the replay and then go check out the offer. So the emails will send for that. There's a series of emails inside of here. Not going to get into writing those emails, but our system automatically writes them for you. And all those are created to drive people to show up to the thing. And then, of course, there's a set of emails here. One of them sends to the replay, and the others will mention about the replay, but the main focus is the special offer, right? So that's a launch vehicle for a webinar. If that sounds daunting, cool, inside of Launchware, you can take a quiz. So I'll go to launches. You can take a quiz, and it does it for you. And we have a GPT that will answer everything for you, and then in about 10 days from today, which is late August 2025, we will have the AI version where you're just going to answer 4 prompts. But let me go into, let me see which one of these, Launch Academy. I'll just go into this one for a sec, just so y'all see, and then we can come back and actually build one. Okay. So yeah, launch, you give it a name. This is going to be for a live webinar, or you could do a pre-recorded evergreen webinar. Instant is our own internal email system. External is if you want to use something like ActiveCampaign or something. But if you don't know what that is, just do instant if you're using our stuff. And once we get here, this is where it gets really cool. So I'll just come over here, and there's 4 steps. Really, it's here, you take the quiz, it builds everything for you. That map that I showed, it builds all those pages for you by just taking the quiz. And then we go and review. Let's look at the stuff. Let's see if we need to edit anything. And once we complete those steps, we mark this as launched. And once that's launched, that means all these emails inside of the system will function. So that's obviously key, that we want to make sure everything's operational. But let's go ahead. I'm going to show you, open this in a new tab, the quiz, and then I'm going to open this. Okay, so the first time you do it, we're going to have you just go question by question. So is this a workshop, webinar, masterclass, or training? You go through, do you want to collect phone numbers? Yes, no. Who are your target customers? When's your workshop scheduled for? So I'll go back to classic view. So we ask, when's it scheduled for? We ask your time zones. How long is your webinar? So in this case, it's a 4-hour webinar. What platform are you hosting it on? Can you give us the link for it, the invitation link for it as well, like this full Zoom invite? What do these people struggle with? What do they really want to achieve? What's the number 1 and 2 and 3 things that you've achieved that you want to share with them that could be relevant to them? How do you relate to what they're struggling with right now? What are you going to be teaching in this webinar? What's something that they're going to be able to avoid whenever you teach them how to do this? So become a spiritual millionaire and share your gifts with the world. Oh, I got to go back here. I've been sharing the wrong thing. So, yeah, so this is the quiz. And in the quiz, so this is the conversational view. that we're going to take you through. So you're going to answer a couple questions, who the target customer is, when's the work, and I'll just show the classic view. So workshop, webinar, training, whatever you want to call it, collecting phone numbers, who's the target customer, when is this scheduled for? If you're doing a live session, when is it scheduled for? Give us the Zoom link and the Zoom invite. What do these people struggle with? What do they really want? What are the top 3 results that you've achieved that you want to share with them that could be relevant to them? How do you relate to their struggle? What are you going to be teaching them? So this has become a spiritual millionaire and share your gifts for the world. And then what's something that they're going to be able to avoid because you're teaching them this. So without needing to learn a bunch of new skills, saving you years, or without having to hire a team. Cool. What are the 3 secrets that they're going to learn? Like, what are the 3 core lessons? So typically in a webinar, you want to teach 3 core lessons. So in here, so when you're teaching, you're going to, so it's like how to blink without blink. And you can change the headlines, but that's just a one that works really well. And you're going to learn this, you're going to learn that, and you're going to learn this, like secret number 1, secret number 2, number 3. So go back here. So what they're going to be learning, what does life look like afterwards? So this is kind of going back to, the dream outcome. Like what would life look like after you implement these things? Bio about you. Who's this for? You want to be clear to call out who this is actually for, then who this is not for. Call to action, so this is just like sign up now, register. In this case, it's become abundant. How do you close out your emails? So we're asking you these questions so you don't have to even think about where do things go, how do I piece all the things together, how do I create this page from scratch, then make sure that page connects to the other thing. We just ask you questions, and as long as you can answer questions, and by the time you're likely seeing this, we'll have the AI version where you just answer 4 prompts. 4 prompts is all you got to answer, and it'll do this for you. So your name, your email, and then now we want to ask you a couple questions about the offers. So what kind of offer is it? When does the program, since this is a program, it has a start date typically. When's the program start, or at least when's the next cohort start? How many people, how many spots are you looking for? Can they go straight to purchase or not? And when we created our offer, we said, yes, straight to purchase. We don't need an application. What's the name of it? How long is it? And then what's the savings? Y'all saw we have full price, and then we have special price. Excuse me. So I would just look at the highest one. So we said it was like 7,500, and then the special price was like 3K. So like, what's the difference between that? Well, that's what, 4,500 bucks. So I could put $4,500 as the savings. How much is the special offer? So we're asking you these questions because we're going to do all the psychology for you, do all the copy for you, and we just need as much insight as you can give us. And then what are the top breakthroughs? So, and this is how long will the offer be available? What are the top breakthroughs that they're going to get? So breakthrough number 1, breakthrough number 2, breakthrough number 3. Oh, I'm going to go back here. So you input that amount here, what they're going to be saving. AI version will automatically just calculate that, but once again, it's just an extra couple seconds to do some math. How long will the offer be available? We recommend usually just like 2 days. So if the webinar is on September 5th, then fast forward 2 days, and at the end of the day, it expires. So it would be, if webinar is September 5th, then on September 7th at 11:59 p.m., your time zone, the offer is gone, or the special offer is gone. Then what are the different breakthroughs that they're going to experience? It asks you if it's a multi-tiered offer, yes. And then here, we already have this information. Just go over to your offers, open this editor, and it's as simple as just copy paste those fields into here, boom. And now we just ask you branded related questions. We have all that inside of our offer. Beautiful. And then if you have testimonials, add those testimonials. Once you answer that, so we're not talking, it's in reality, it's 30 questions. You just need to answer 30 questions. And if you can answer those 30 questions, if you get stuck on anything, you can ask AI, we have an AI that will automatically do that for you if you want to use GPT. And then our next version, by the time you see this, will be answer 4 prompts and then add your branding and you're good to go. So once you do that, we'll go here. So we would submit this, right? We answer the quiz. I'm going to go to the bottom and we submit this. When you submit that, it takes you to the next step, which is let's link an offer. So in this case, we'd grab the offer we created. We link that. We're going to make sure payment integration is live so we can at least start collecting payment. So we do Stripe and PayPal, and it's a one-time setup as well. But then when you hit continue, this is where the magic happens. This is where people's brains kind of explode in a good way, because all this work, all this right here, would take weeks to be able to figure out how to do it by yourself, if not months. Most likely quit, you'd break a bunch of stuff, and then you'd end up hiring an agency. But if you look here, we have everything built out for us, ready to go, and then we can view our pages, check it out, do whatever edits we want to do. If we want to edit, we just hit edit, and it takes us to the editor, and we're able to manipulate the text. We don't allow you to break the infrastructure of the page. And by that I mean there's a psychology behind this. There's a reason why things are where they are. So for this, you basically can just go, if you want to edit the copy, you can just click on any of these things and manipulate the words as much as you want, do whatever you want. But we don't let you break the psychology and the framework of it. We will be doing a version where you can do more, but doing more will just hurt your conversions. Like if you try to move, oh, I think it's pretty if I do things like this, it literally, like, you don't know what you don't know, right? Like, you're not a professional copywriter, you don't know how to create the graphics, you don't know how to create the funnels, you don't know the psychology behind it, you don't know how to automate, you don't know how to time things. All these other things that are typically complex, we automatically handle them for you. So then we write the emails for you. So as you can see here, we have the full email sequence ready to go. You can view the email, and it does everything for you without you having to understand how any of this works or take it, like, write the emails yourself, figure out where to put them, what email marketing platform, and how to give the conditions to make sure that they send at the right time to the right people. And then of course we saw sales pages, but we showed that earlier. So I'm going to go, so if we go back to the iPad real quick, so this is what we built, right? For the sake of this, I'm not going to go into all the questions, but you pause the video if you want, you can come back and look at that, but we have essentially a webinar funnel built. And then for the VSL, it's essentially, let me go here, go back to Business Builder. Inside of Business Builder, let me go to, okay, cool, we're inside of LeftSpire. So we just built a lead funnel. So lead funnel, this is where you can have, let me go back to Launchware, yep. So I'll go back. So back in Launchware, so once again, build it wherever you want, but in Launchware, you go to Business Builder, Lead Funnels, and this is where you build something like a VSL funnel. So here I would do, like, if I don't want to, yeah, I'm going to actually do this. This is a good example. So how to create your dream coaching business in one day. This is internal, so this is a VSL funnel where I teach how to create a launch and full coaching biz. Cool. And then this is asking if you want it to be gated or ungated. What that means is, I'll just show you real quick. This is ungated, right? If someone clicks on the link, so ungated, if someone clicks on this link, it takes them directly to the content. But let's say we wanted it to be gated. So all that would mean is we add a landing page ahead of it. So blah, blah, blah. Maybe I could do a little video, and it's like, put in your information here, give us your name and email, and when you do that, you can now access the content. So that is the difference between gated and ungated. So for this example, I'm going to do ungated. Then I'm going to select a video because I want them to go watch a video. I'm going to do a video link, and I'm just going to do the same link that, or the same video that I've been doing. but you'd want to create something different. And then this asks if you want them to have any next steps. So yes, I want them to have next steps. So here I'm going to go, yeah, so actually, let me grab this. I'm just going to put ready to take your coaching business to the next level. I'm just going to actually say ready to level up. Um, uh, for a limited time, get 50% off all packages. And I'm not being accurate on the package, so get 50% off packages and build your dream coaching business. Okay, so for the sake of being consistent and not just kind of making some shit up, since we made that offer, with our special offer and full price offer, what's the percentage, what's the biggest percent discount they are saving? Cool. I'm creating a VSL funnel, and below my video I want something like this. Make it stronger. Okay, cool. So go down. GPT still thinking. Doing percentages. And then button claim now. Okay. Sweet. Ready to start? Your next level starts now. Boom. I like that. It's more direct. Claim my spot now. And then I'm just going to go here to my offer. Actually, offers right here. So Launch Academy Elite. I'm going to hit boom. View links. Copy this. And then I'm going to put that URL here. Hit continue, and now it's building my VSL funnel. So of course I already had a video. You'd want to make sure that you record a video, but in this case we're getting a lead funnel ready to go. So now it's submitted, shows me the lead funnel. If I want to modify things here, cool, I can change the fonts, the colors, but once again, stay consistent. Like, I'm doing the blue, so I'm sticking to the blue. I would not have a purple, since this is an example, I'm using this video, but I would never put a purple, like, completely different color. This is the Launchware color, of course. But stay consistent. This goes, like, it creates a professional experience, a customer journey, and it just builds trust. So cool, boom. If I wanted, I can make this just a little bit darker. I was doing 66 on the other one, so I can stay consistent. And then this is asking if I have testimonials. If I want to say yes, I have testimonials, and then I can add video and written testimonials. For the sake of this example, I'm going to say no. I'll just put yes, and then I'm going to say, can you give me 3 written testimonials, 2 men and 1 woman. For the sake of the example, just gonna put something in here. So cool. So written, I'll do 1 video, and then I'm gonna do the rest of them written. So 3 written. So boom. Cool. And this is John M. So John M. I'll come back and add an image momentarily. And then this is Marcus. So I'm going to go here. Marcus L. And of course add real testimonials, but I just want to show this example. And then this one. Boom. Sarah K. Okay, so let me put some headshots for people. So software testing. So Sarah. Looks like a Sarah. And then Marcus. Marcus, boom, and then John, and then a video one, I'm going to do, let me grab, I'm just going to grab a video of Preston Wells. Okay, so this is boom. So cool, now I have these testimonials on the page, good to go, hit launch, and now it's submitting, and we essentially now have this created as well. So let's go back here, boom. So if I copy, so I can modify the URL, the SEO information, I could link it to a custom domain, all the things, cool. So I'm just gonna move on and just open this link. So copy it, open a new tab, paste. Beautiful. I have a page ready to go. I need to actually update the logo to the light version. But sweet, someone can watch the video. Beautiful. And from here, they can claim the spot, and this takes them into the special offer. So nothing crazy, nothing technical, but now we have an additional way for someone to go from, for someone to come visit and say, hey, what does Emmanuel have to offer? Go learn, and then go check out my special offer. So the one bonus that I want to mention, so these are two simple, powerful vehicles. Of course, like a webinar, you have to actually like show up live. The alternative is doing this evergreen. Where did my, cool. The alternative is doing this evergreen, so pre-recorded, and that works as well. You just have to commit and make sure that you show up like fully, like on the pre-recorded thing, like you're speaking truth into that person that's watching right now. You're probably stuck, you have all these ideas in your head, and you're ready to finally just put your things out into the market and start receiving at the level that you've been giving. If that's you, I'm excited that you're here today, not for my own sake, but for you to finally do the thing. In the next 60 minutes that we're going to have together, I'm going to show you exactly how to go from idea to launching your entire business without being technical, without having to hire a team. And this is going to allow you to, even by the end of today, like be out in the market like a professional, operating at the caliber of 6 and even 7-figure coaches. Like how exciting would that be if you could know that starting tomorrow, you're confidently putting yourself out there. You have the systems, you have the foundations. Imagine what would shift in your life. So as you can see, I'm just like really just speaking truth into that person. And like, I don't care it's a camera, because I know on the other side of that camera, there's someone that could actually transform their life. If you show up in that frequency, like with real passion, then I would recommend doing a pre-recorded training. If the idea of live freaks you out a little bit. But I do recommend do live reps, because you just get better and better and better. Like there's no better feedback than in a live setting. So, yeah, the one, so if we go back to the beginning, so at this point we've created some launch vehicles, right? So now we have a way to get people inside of our world. I want to just give y'all a little bit more nuggets. So like, for example, we have this VSL page. So let me grab this. I'll grab it like this. Boom, 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 boom. Copy. So we have a VSL page. Okay, I think Siri's listening. That's kind of cool, but nope. Okay. So I'm going to delete this. Delete that. So we have that, and then we have the webinar funnel, right? So I'm just going to go boom, boom, boom. Da-da-da. Okay. So one pro tip that I would recommend is even if you have these two things, and then up here you have probably like a Calendly. So this could be like Calendly. So I would recommend having something called the social page. So you can use like something like Linktree, but basically a little write up about you. And then you have buttons that lead people to, and I would recommend like this background is branded, the consistent things that you used in these backgrounds. So you have this cohesive branded experience. But like for example, I'll go over here, move this over here, this right here. So, there's IG, there's Facebook, there's X, TikTok, etc. Right? There's like different platforms, and if any of those platforms have a link in bio, then you could put a link in bio like this, and then those paths lead. Like so, for example, the first could go to booking a call with you. If someone wants to learn more, they could go check out the VSL. And if you have a free training coming up, whether it's live or pre-recorded, but imagine if you have something like this in place where from the VSL, someone could go book a call. I'll grab this real quick. Boom. Like you have the foundations of a professional coach. So the webinar, we know that there's the sales emails, and they go to here. We know that there's the replay. Cool. So this goes here, and then this goes onto the sales page. On the Calendly call, you make the special offer as well, or on the VSL, you could even just lead someone to a special offer. But imagine having something like this in place where you're capturing leads and you are operating like a true 6 and even 7-figure coach. And this little tool is just a really powerful addition to the process. So I want to show you real quick. It takes 2 seconds to build. So I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to go back to Business Builder. And I'm just going to hit this button, Social Page. And this allows me to create this. So I'm actually just going to take a screenshot of me right now. Cool, sure, that works. So it has all my branding. I'm going to put in my actual headshot. So I just took a screenshot of me. So boom. Cool. A little image. My headline, I'm going to say my social handle. I don't use social too much. Now I'm going to just go, not use my brain again, and just let AI handle this. So I'm going to do this, upload this image. Like besides creating that graphic, we didn't do anything creative or anything additional. Like, so you can answer these questions, and if you've been following along at this point, you have essentially a business built. I'm creating a social page, Linktree replacement inside Launchware, and I'd like help with a write-up below my social name, plus 3 buttons. One goes to my Calendly for a free 30-minute discovery call. One goes to my VSL funnel. One goes to my free workshop to build coaching business in 1 day. Okay. So, and I'm on a big monitor, so it looks longer, but cool. So, blah, blah, blah. Let's see how this looks. Order launcher. Let's turn. Cool. I'm happy with that. That's pretty cool. And then book free discovery call. So, boom. Amazing. Let's see if this is more than 2 lines. If it is, I usually like the buttons having no. Okay, cool, perfect. Boom. And then I'm just going to put a random website. I'm going to add another social link button. So watch my free training. And then proven system. So boom, probably make that a little bit stronger, but let's see, where is my VSL? So boom, boom. It's right here, cool. So I'm gonna grab this link, paste this. I'm gonna add one more, and this is gonna be for the webinar. This might be 2 lines, so I might make it shorter. Build your coaching business in 1 day, free workshop. So I'm just going to take this off. In 1 day. Yep, this says free below it. And then in this case, I know we didn't fully build it, but like for example, here's the link. So I would just grab that link, paste. And then if I had anything else, like if I had a PDF or anything like that, I could add the different buttons. If I had a free community, so if I wanted to create a free community inside of Launchware, then I could point people in that direction. And then need support. Yep, I'll just put this, but you can put whatever message you want down here. Beautiful. Save and preview. And now I have this, and I can, go, give it 2 seconds. I can go in here and modify the social page, the path, the SEO description, so the way it shows up on, so for example, let me just clean this up real quick, and then we are done. So I'm going to go here, just so y'all understand how to do this, even if you don't do it inside Launchware. So can you give me a SEO title plus description plus keywords? I know I typoed, but whatever, it knows. Cool. Boom. Sweet. So we'll put this description. Boom. Keywords. Separate keywords with a comma. I'll put my name here, and or my business name. I could actually just put like that. And then keywords. Cool. If I wanted to put a social image, this is like if I text someone the link, it would show the name and then the image. I'm sure you've seen it when you text people. I'm just going to skip that. And then I'm going to save and preview. So I'm going to be updating that. And now we literally have, if we go back here, we have this now. Like we're good to go. Stroke green. So now we have a social page. We have a VSL funnel. We have a webinar funnel. If you had a Calendly and you linked it, cool, we have a Calendly path. We have a special offer that leads to all those other different paths. And now, in 1 day, I don't know of anywhere else that you could even get remotely close to this and be able to build that with no technical skills. You're just answering questions, and if you've been following along on this video, you're able to now do it. And then this is the social page. For the most part, it's a primary social page. So like on social media, someone clicks it and they're gonna see a link like this, and in all reality, it is social oriented, so it'll look more like this. This is a dimension of an iPhone, boom. So they can see, click, and explore their paths forward. So we just answer basic questions, but we now have the foundation of a coaching business. And I want to just speak on this real quick, because if you just stay consistent Like maybe the first time you try, it doesn't work. But if you stay consistent and you put in the reps here, put in the reps. Like you actually show up and you deliver the live webinar and you see what happens. Like how many people showed up and how many bought. If they didn't, like what can you do next time to try again? Like don't be like the average adult and try something once, and if it didn't work, if you're like, "Oh, I didn't make a sale. It doesn't work." I promise you, if you show up again and do a better job like in your delivery, like it's the first time riding a bike, you didn't ride the bike, you fell, right? So like how can you show up here, show up, I'll do it in green, show up and hook people, tell powerful stories that take people from the brain to the heart, and showcase a powerful offer. Hook, story, offer. Those are usually the three components that if you need to look at it, okay, did I hook people in? Did I share enough? Because you can teach lessons for sure, but if you weave in stories inside of your lessons, then that makes those lessons stick. People aren't going to remember the 5 steps to doing something, but they're going to remember the story that you shared that took them from the brain, little brain, to the heart. So yeah, you get the picture. So you take people buy on emotion. Go here. People buy on emotion, and then justify with logic. So stories are things that get us out of the logical brain and into the heart, especially when you tell powerful stories. This is where Sally, meet Sally. When she came to us, she was struggling here, and she, just tell the story of where she was, what the transformation is, and what does life look like today for Sally. And if there's some, heartstrings that need to be tapped, I promise if you do that, including sharing your story, don't take a story and make that the entire webinar, but you can share your story and you don't have to pretend that life is all perfect. Like be a real human. Like if you have emotions, let those out. Don't break down where you can't present, but a tear or two isn't gonna do anything. Like if you tell people your hardest story that aligns with what you're talking about in the webinar, and maybe you get emotional a little bit. Like those people, it's gonna hit the heartstring, and you're gonna connect at a human level. Someone might be like half paying attention if you start talking about your lowest of lows that's relevant to them. They're gonna stop like scrolling and doing all the other BS, and they're gonna pay attention. Like you're gonna be able to drop people in and connect at a human to human level, and then you'll have an invitation for people to go deeper. However you want to present your offer. If you want to be aggressive and this is how the offer happens, cool. But a lot of coaches are more heart centered, so you can do a heart centered approach for those that want to go deeper. But make sure that you hold those people high and call them forth. Like you don't have to be shy about like how to go deeper and like what this special offer is. Like you get to practice it, like just practice before you go live. But if you do some practice, then if you put these reps in, like you can drastically change your life. Like maybe right now, like if you put a timeline, let's put an 18-month journey. So 18 months. Some of you are gonna say, I don't have 18 months. You do. You're gonna be alive in the next 18 months. You got to have some patience, and you got to put in some reps. You're not going to be a millionaire tomorrow, but if you just put in the fucking work and you just consistently show up, you put in the reps, you refine the process. Oh, I need a better hook. I need a better story. I need to deliver more value. I need to make sure that I'm actually like fulfilling on my service. And you do this on a consistent basis. Like you show up every month or two. I do weekly live trainings, and I run 2 different 7-figure companies. I show up a lot on these things, but you learn some here, you learn some here. Maybe you kind of go back down a little bit. Maybe it's a couple times it didn't work, but then boom, it starts popping, and all of a sudden now your new threshold are like 10, 20K months or whatever your number is. Like this is literally all this is levels. You got to start somewhere. So level 1 is, like 0 to your first 10K per month. And then level 2 would be, up to like 10 to 20. And you continue to just go in the levels, and each level that you're in becomes your new norm. But you have to get there, and you have to stop just guessing or throwing spaghetti and shit at the wall. So if you just do things like this and allow, whether it's Launchware or whatever, like you go and you build those things out, I promise on the other side you're going to have, that dream business that you ultimately want. And we started this focused on them, right? So moving people towards their dream, but you ultimately have a dream too. So if you put in the reps and you help people get what they want, ultimately you will get what you want. So yeah, at this point we've covered some very powerful frameworks, and even if we never see you inside of Launchware, hopefully you gain value out of this training and you go implement. You don't just consume knowledge for the sake of consuming. That's not knowledge. Like, you're not any smarter if you're not actually doing the stuff. If anything, if you're learning and you're not taking action, then you're actually dumber, because you have the knowledge but you're not actually doing anything with the knowledge. That before you were ignorant to the awareness of this. Now you have it, so you have to actually go do something with it if you genuinely mean what you say you want for your life. If you want that dream, go actually do it and put in the reps. So we've done that, and now it's fulfilling on the service. So this is the next part. And fulfilling on the service is actually going and doing, like, we went and built a lot of this thing, right? So, like, for example, we have an offer, and people can go into the offer. When someone buys the offer, we send them into a place to go fulfill on the service. So this is obviously, like, we went through this, we built this together. So this is where we're going to go fulfill on the service. And we added the calendar so people can join the upcoming calls. We added the training so people can go access the content. We added the document. So if I have different workbooks and lessons I want people to complete, I can put those inside of here. But this is all about, fulfilling on the service. And fulfilling on the service, especially once we have it built, is just, once again, helping the person go from, and I'll make this, making the person go from, from here to here. Boom. And this is their dream outcome. And it's okay if for example, if your course, if your offer only gets them this far into the journey to the dream outcome. Is there anyone here that in your network, that other companies that you can research, talk to GPT, but say, are there other people that could complement, that can get the person the rest of the way there? Even if you do that, someone comes into your world, boom, and then once they graduate, you can reach out to these people and say, hey, we have people that do this, you help them with this, which is after they come into my world. Would you be open to an affiliate relationship where I send people your way? And all of a sudden now you have a new way of generating revenue, and these clients will move towards their dream outcome. Like, they go from here to here if they work with this person, and they're going to love you because you were the vehicle that initiated this and then got them to the finish line because you connected them here. Or this could be you. Like, this could be still you. And you just create the next part of the offer, your next ascension offer. Like, for example, Preston, my co-founder, so when people go in, he has 2 different in-person events, so Bridge and Extreme, and people have to complete them, boom, and then they complete the next one, boom, and then from there, only from there, can people join his facilitation program. So he's got, boom, content, boom, and people can go, and once they've gone through this, they go to this, then they can come in here, and that's an ascension. So this is like, I think like $1,500. This is, I think like 2K, and then this is 12K. But the best quality customers will ascend naturally to this part. So, and Preston obviously is a multi-7-figure coach, so 7-figure roadmap. So you get to decide, are you the person that gets them to the dream, or do you get them part of the way and then you connect with someone else that gets them the rest of the way? But that's essentially like fulfilling on the service and ascending. And if you just continue the journey, like first let's first get to the first 10K if you're not there yet. But then, so yeah, sorry about that. First, let's get you to the first 10K, and then let's work on the levels that get you to the first 100K. And actually, if you get to 10K a month, you're already at 100 plus thousand a year as a coach. So boom. And then it's the next levels. How do I get to the 250,000? How do I get to the 500,000? How do I get to the million? And it's literally just reps. And also, it's based on, like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? You get to dictate, like, what is your level that you want to achieve? Everyone has their own personal goals. For some, you're watching this and you're like, I don't care about money at all. I just want to make an impact in people. Cool. You need to have some form of capital resources, which is money. Like, you need capital to make a big impact. Even if it's a nonprofit, you have to get people to donate money to then make your impact. So find a way to just change your relationship with money. If you're the type of coach that just hates the idea of like chasing numbers, chase the financial number. That means if you make $250,000, you're getting to impact 1,000 people, 1,000 souls. If that's the thing that gets you lit up, amazing. Focus on the souls that you're going to impact, and to impact 1,000 souls, you'll likely make to whatever your number is. So hopefully you can see that if you just follow this is how you build a 6-figure business. And then the last thing I would just mention, because it's about launch vehicles, don't be afraid of this one. Like, if you're not taking sales calls, lean into that. You could just have a conversation with someone in the DMs. You go to an event, you meet them in person, invite them to jump on a call with you. Hey, I love your vibe. I love what you're doing. I'd love to serve your mission. This is what I do. I help these types of people. Usually after they work with me, this is what they're doing. Would you be open to jumping on a call, next week? Boom, you jump on a call with someone and find your way of delivering value, and you can come back to chat. And as you saw earlier, we asked, what's the enrollment discovery call flow again? And it can walk you through that. And if you feed it resources, it'll just make the best script that you can use to take sales calls and enroll people with your special offers. So with that said, hopefully this mini series has been supportive. If you're a Launchware user, of course, just you followed along. If you haven't finished everything, go do the work. I promise. When you do this, and you just stick to it. Like, don't have the small amount of willpower that I have I'll put this real quick. So Launchware users, I have my purpose tattooed on my body, and Launchware right below it. But I put this on my body because I got tired of literally talking about it. Like, so many people, let me just do this real quick. So many people just talk about it. They will spend the rest of their lives telling people what they're gonna do one day or what they did in the past. And my invitation for you is draw the line in the sand. Like, fucking, whether it's putting it on your body or like declaring wholeheartedly that you're going to do something, whether it's for your kids or like whatever it is. For me, I put this on my body and I imagined my unborn child saying, "Daddy, what's that on your arm?" And in my mind, I thought, it's something your daddy gave up on. And that was a gut punch. That took me from the logical to the heart. My stomach dropped and I said, fuck it, I'm going to put this on my body and I'm going to actually commit to the thing. And there was no going back once I put it on my body. So find a way to draw the line in the sand for you and go do the thing that you were put on this earth to do. With that said, thank you so much if you've watched to this point. You have access to this training. Hopefully you've actually implemented the things. If you're not going to be using Launchware, all good, but go actually do those things. I promise on the other side, you'll find your breakthrough. All right, y'all. Peace.